feel like I'm missing a window. Why am I missing a window? What have I forgotten to do this week? I don't know. I don't know. I'll just assume that it's fine. I wait until there's a thing in the corner until it says that somebody's actually watching. There we go. Look at that. The update. I'm still getting used to living in like I don't know, 30-second delay. I'm guessing it's around 30 seconds. And we are dropping frames like crazy. And I think we're going to keep dropping frames for about the first 5 minutes or so of this. And I'm going to withhold from starting any sort of a project here for about the first, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I mistakenly, it's stalling pretty bad. I mistakenly started an upload about 30 odd minutes ago. Didn't think anything of it. Just started uploading a regular video. Probably should have waited until after this was over, because we're sharing all of that up, that bandwidth up. This is more frames than I dropped in the last hour last week. So note to self, maybe don't try to share your upload speed with uploading a video and doing this at the same time. We've got people. I'm still at work. We'll watch at home. Well, hurry up, Bubba, and go home, because work is the worst. Work is the worst, right? It's the worst. So hopefully, hello, Tennessee. I don't know how you're doing. We'll get this. Now we got two things to let you know that it's still working. I don't know how you're doing out there in Tennessee. I was playing Helldivers last night, and I was talking to a couple fellas from the Pennsylvania, where Pennsylvania and New York touch each other, from that area. And I guess it's like 20 degrees over there. So I'll take a hard pass on that. Not just Ohio should be absolutely frosty over there as well. It's pretty okay over here. The floor's a little cold. But, hello from England. In the nighttime, far in the future, England, far in the future. $27 degrees. Nope. Nope. That is a hard no from Susan and I. Oof. 19 last night. No. No. You guys are strong souls. That whole middle part of the country there. That is 3 degrees C. And here's the thing. Somebody explained to me like a really simple formula of how to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, like easily and quickly in your head, and I already forgot it. I know 3 degrees Celsius would be pretty cold, because 0 degrees Celsius is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So like 40, something like that. I don't know. Between 32 and 40. I don't know. It's been too long, man. I can't redo the wiring to make centigrade, aka Celsius, make any sense to me. Yes, Mr. Yates did indeed just message me on Instagram, and then he was like, "Oh, he could have just thrown it over there." Jay Leeson asks, "Is West Desert Wheeler near you?" Well, not really. You could drive there in a day, but Southern Utah would be 16 hours. 900 miles away, 1,000 miles away, something like that. 1,600 kilometers. I can do that math. Yeah, it's far. It's far. But it's the same desert. It's that same strip of desert. So they get very similar weather to what we have here. Just hot, -2 degrees Celsius. No. There's no such thing as minus temperatures. That's irrational numbers. That's not. Yeah, that's Mr. Yates says that's a haul to do in one day. I have fond memories of my grandparents were not airplane people. They drove. So we would do these family trips probably about every other year in the summer. And one year in the summer, it was like a circle that went across the heartland of the country, went to all the national parks and did all those things. And my grandfather was the sort of man to load children into the car at 2:00 in the morning and drive nonstop as if he were being chased. And by the time we would wake up in the car, we would be in Salt Lake City. He was a madman. I distinctly remember him being pulled over in South Dakota by a female motorcycle cop because he was doing like 95 miles an hour in an AMC wagon. It was yellow and it had the wood grain paneling down the side. And she saw an elderly gentleman and my grandmother, of course, like knitting or crocheting, very stereotypical, and 2 small kids half asleep in the back. And she was like, "Can you just keep it down a little?" Yeah, he was a madman, that one. So we don't want to too further the adieus. I've noticed that the frame drop has basically stopped. Double the C plus 32. That's what somebody had told me. Double the C plus 32. Okay. I'm gonna try to through repetition, I'm going to try to drive double C plus 32 into my brain, because that is an amount of math. I only need to ballpark it. Because as I had related before, I stuck my hand into the parts cleaner, into my ultrasonic cleaner, because it was only 50 degrees Celsius. And I was like, what is 50 degrees Celsius? Hot. Hotter than you want to stick your hand into. So some simpler math is definitely where I live. Double the C plus 32. I can remember that. So that water was 130 plus degrees. Yeah, that's warm. Like, not hot enough to make you curl up and roll around on the ground. Yeah, negative Fahrenheit is cold, real cold. Yes, indeed. What is the coldest I've been? 4. I think 4 was what it was. My delightful early morning bicycle trip to the south rim of the Grand Canyon on a bicycle so I could witness the sunrise over the canyon. And I didn't have any winter-specific cycling gear on. And the temperature on the thermometer was 17. But with the wind, according to a wind chill calculator, it was 4. It was 4 degrees. And I was wearing shorts. I did have wool socks on. But 4 degrees is cold. It's very, very cold. So when people say negative, I'm like, no. Look at all these shiny stickers. Who doesn't love stickers? There are, I'm gonna have to go loosely. Oh my goodness. This is not one of those things where it's filled with 17 different languages. This is very IKEA, where it's just pictures and parts. And this thing in the rear has 9 leaves. 9. I gotta turn the feet heater on. It is. I am getting weaker to temperature as each year goes by. The cycling experiment began, that would have been 2015. Oh my God, 9 years ago? 9 years ago. Subtract 9 from my age, and I didn't get cold until it was in the 40s. Now I feel like The 60s is cold. Did Trail Tape ask, did you get this directly from Cross RC US? Yes. It came in a cardboard box outside of this box that said Cross RC USA on it. Oh my. There's oh. For those who didn't know, the beadlocks are metal. Like these are proper. Oh, so many pieces. Here are the tires. Let's crack into let's crack into this and see how hard we're working. Ooh. I'm wishful, but at the same time thankful y'all don't have smell-o-vision. That'll hit you. Yeah, these are hard as rocks. And they have been in the box for a while because that foam started off white. And it's been oh my god, that is so hard. They are 108 by 35. That is not a grotesquely uncommon size in that 108. For what it is, they're so thick. Oh my goodness. This is an unbearably firm tire. The foam is also way too firm. More firm than what would be in a 465, 475. So I'm not, yeah, stiff tires are scale accurate for this vehicle. That is absolutely true. Yeah, that I cannot deny. And this is one of those things where, in the spirit of sacrifices made in the name of vanity, I don't think we're driving up sheer rock faces with this. This is a thing because it looks amazing. I don't know what all this is. Yeah, the efforts towards weight savings? No. So there is the 2-speed, the GB2. There is the gearbox with the big, the Cross RC has got like a chrome saber-toothed tiger on it. This is a 45 turn. I can't be the only one that is surprised that this has a 540 on it. I feel like I cannot emphasize enough just to satisfy my own curiosity. That weighs 1.5 pounds. That's just gearbox and sealed can 540 weighs 1.5 pounds. That is all cast. Part of me is sad that it came pre-assembled, but part of me is not sad that it came pre-assembled. Yeah, 1.5 pounds for just the gearbox. The wheels and the hardware for the wheels weigh 1.5 pounds. So there's 3 pounds right there. A pair of tires weighs. Oh, that's. I almost said it's just under 0.5 pound. So it comes with 7 wheels because it has a spare on the back. Hey, there's a theme. The 7 tires weigh 1.5 pounds. So that's 4.5 pounds. Let's pop open. I think this is the middle. I think this is the center axle. Let's pop one of these open and see what one of these. Oh, T-case. Oh, it feels like a little atom bomb. That's 0.3 pounds. Over a quarter of a pound. So we're talking in the 5-ounce range just for the transfer case. There were not efforts made to conserve weight of any kind. And then, of course, it is all metal axle housings. And they've done some trickery. Which is, if you'll note, the outputs from the center gearbox counter rotate. So that would imply to me that the front and the rear housings rotate the same direction. It's kind of the opposite of how Traxxas does it. Very smooth. I at some point will probably end up pulling things apart. There are bearings, and then they've there's a little brass seal on the outside of the bearings. That is oh yeah. It's only 0.6 pounds. So 0.6 pounds per axle. All of these plastic pieces have to be at least 1.5 pounds. No, 1.7 for that. Yeah. This guy, if this guy is only 12 pounds, it will be it will be astonishing. I did indeed make good on my threat, and I went around town. I went around town and I got olive camouflage. I also got a can of Real Deal Tamiya TS28 olive drab. So I have multiple options. I think the Krylon camouflage paint is probably going to be a better option because I realize now I got to paint the wheels, don't I? The wheels are white. And this vehicle would not have. You know what? You're on. You're on, Trail Tape. We're weighing the empty box, and I bet it's 1.5 pounds. Okay, wait, no. First we have to weigh the cab. I don't know. Holy. What? Okay. Now, I can tell you right now, the frame rails don't weigh 1.5 pounds, but when they say frame rails, they mean rails. These look like drawer slides. Look at the ruler for scale. There's an 18-inch ruler. It's a bigger boy. These rails are 2 centimeters tall. They are not, however, 1.5 pounds. Thankfully. All right. No, I am weighing the box. What do I do with the scale? There it is. Oh, wait. Where's the other side? You can't see that. It's out of frame. We've got the combo breaker. The empty box is 2 pounds. So we have 2 pounds of empty box. And then we've got the beautiful cab. Yeah, buddy. Look at that boy. With, of course, let's get the full interior. If I can wedge it in ever so gently. Oh, look at that. Whoop, too high. Look at that little guy. Oh, there's so much painting. Is that an LCG? This is very potentially as high of a CG as you could possibly make. The sprung to unsprung ratio on this is going to be wild, and not wild in a way that you would want. Front axle and rear axle, 1.5 pounds. The title of this episode is getting retitled. When this thing goes up, it's getting retitled as just 1.5 pounds. That is the going forward title of this. It's all CG. Yes, side hills to a whopping 11 degrees. I don't know. 11 degrees might be optimistic. This is an operation where you're not in for things that. Look at these little brass hinges. This is not an instance where something says, "Oh, here's bag A, bag B, bag C." This is number 288, 266, 268. Here's the fittings. Oh, there's the exhaust stacks. Some handles, the door handles. Some sort of big old boxes. I have no idea what those are. This is the really heavy bag. I think it has some, can't wait for the tiny screws to show up. I have a fear that they're in this bag. There's our leafs. There's our dampers. Look at those little whip. This is oh there. It's not okay. Oh, that's a ooh. I'm gonna say that is an uncomfortable amount of nuts. That bag of lock nuts has to have 100 nuts in it. 100 nuts. Probably in the neighborhood of a pound and a half. We've got rope and chain. We've got some sort of electro-plated pieces. And this is how we do. We just, oh yeah, but, oh man. This is more exciting than the frame rails, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, isn't he's not a plastic. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is a bumper. It is stamped steel. It is 8.5 inches wide. Ooh, Nelly. There's something electronic in here. Oh, there's LEDs. There's LEDs. Oh, there's more electro-plated pieces. There's something very heavy in there. I have to open this one to find out what that extremely... I am trying... I'm fighting with all of my will not to take things out of their bags because I'm going to get so confused. This is, as I said, this is a model that you can drive. So I'm guessing these are skid plates, or they go under the diffs. This little bag, maybe not spot on it, but pound and a half. And it has, that bag has a hole in it because that just escaped. This is going to be weight saving measures. Not, there's no point in that. Look how, I don't know what that mesh is for, but I love it. It's got a little edge on it. This is going to be something. We might as well, you know, like I can't build wheels because those have to be painted. I want to see what kind of hard parts can we get. Oh my goodness. So one of these bags, one of these heavy bags has got to have drive shafts in it. Oh, the wheels, pound and a half. So like when you first open it up, I know that this is getting blown out by the brightness, but this is just the pages of parts. And now we finally start putting things together, which I don't have to do because the gearbox is already assembled. Servo not included for the 2-speed. Then I got to install the 2-speed bits. And again, now I'm thankful that I don't have to build the gearbox or the transfer case or the axles. So basically, when you crack into the manual, which is 50 pages, which is 50 pages long, you don't have to do anything in the first couple pages except all this stuff. We have to assemble the servo mount. Which, thankfully, blissfully, your boy Blue 2 says, is this yours? Remembers, this is Osmium level channel supporter Shaker MT. He said, would you be interested in building a cross deuce and a half, and I said I would absolutely do that. I mean, I guess not. I wasn't ready. I I knew that it was going to be complex, but this is space above and beyond. So we're not going to need these for a minute. Yeah, here's where the issues are going to land for us. By step 6, we already get. Can I get to it and it not blare out? Yeah, paint. I probably, in spirit of pre-prep, I probably should have pulled like all of the these are just like what am I looking at? It's just plastic bars. How much of this has to be like not just assembled but fabricated? Like what are we? Is this a model? What? Is that how big the bed is? Can't be, right? That's huge. Okay. Oh, I see spot. They want me to file 1.5 millimeters off of that piece up in step 33. That is the bed. This is indeed the bed of the vehicle. So large then. I'm not going to worry too much about like whether or not the servo mount for the 2-speed servo holds. It is painted. That looked like it, right? This is. Brian Massey asks, what scale is that? 1/12. 1/12. Much like how other military models are some odd-numbered scale because people don't realize that, respectively, how big and or how small these things are. Like a deuce and a half. If you've ever been near one in a regular car, they are enormous. They're absolutely enormous. So this tire at 12th would be, what, 40-inch? Thereabouts, a little over 40-inch. It's a big tire. Whereas a Jeep, like a Willys, would be 6th scale to be the size of a 10th scale because they had an 80-inch wheelbase. Those things are little tiny pocket cars. 71069. And it looks metal. So I'm going to guess it's in here. Look at that. No, a 7th scale deuce and a half wouldn't fit on this bench. It would be. Well, let me consult the internet. I want to see what are the real world dimensions on this. How close are we looking? The M35A2, 2.5 ton, 6x6 cargo truck. Starting in World War II with the GMC CCKW. The current model was designed in 1949. It is 274 3/4 inches long, which is 6.98 meters, so 7 meters long. It is 93 inches, 2.36 meters wide, and it is 111 inches tall to the top of the cab, 2.82 meters. It has an operational range of 500 miles and a maximum speed of 58 miles an hour. So 7 meters long, if it was 10th scale, would be 0.7 meters. So it would be like, about that long. Question. My wheel nuts keep coming loose. I've put new ones on several times. That's the suggestions. Oh, yes. Honestly, yes. Absolutely. I have mentioned to others before Here is maybe the problem that you're experiencing. So, if you're using a nylock nut, you see that nylock nut? See how smooth? We want this. We want nylocks that are serrated on the back. If they're not serrated on the back, they're going to come loose, even being nylocks. And then, as I have said it before, nylocks are single use, so we use them a lot more than that. But the nylock part is really only at its maximum nylockiness the first time you put it on. So these all bolt together with, this is going to be a lot of back and forths. I need to find part number 11210, which is M3 by 16. There's only 8 of those. We will get something assembled. I am probably, honestly, I have some fairly decently organized bins. I'm probably just going to be pulling hardware out of these bins and going from there. Oh, we're going to need a servo to do the shifting. And seeing as there's really no reason to put a low profile servo on there, let's get into the bin. Let's see what we got. What's near the top? We've got a Fetech 25 kg. We've got an Amazon 20 kg. I think for steering, we're gonna go. Let's go thematic. This is honestly building something like this. This is the perfect situation to use those servos that aren't good for anything else. I'm telling you, Google Drive, you need to knock it off. If you ask me to start syncing one more time, I will go through the work required to figure out how to delete you. So just leave me alone. So we're gonna go Fetech and Animos because we're oh wow, maybe we won't go Fetech. Look how tall that is. Why is that so tall? There's room. Pound and a half. Spear to pound and a half. But back to the gentleman's question about the wheel nuts keep coming loose. Like all 4 wheels? If it's all 4 wheels, that would be something. It's usually like one wheel or wheels across from one another. But if it's all 4 wheels coming loose a lot, make sure you clean the axles real good, because if there's stuff on them, then the nylock can't work and they'll just come right off. Even if they're brand new nylocks, just alcohol, brake clean, whatever you have convenient to wash your stubs. I don't know. This thing is so tall. Am I gonna need? Yeah, this is crazy. It's only 2. Yeah. It is, and coming back from the olden times, 17 millimeter wheel nuts on Go Fast stuff, 17 millimeter nuts. You had to get them just right, or they would fall off, and then they're gone forever, and then your wheel would launch off at high speed. We don't have as big of an issue, going 2 miles an hour. I mean, the end game solution is get yourself a bottle of a tube of this. You can get it at any hardware store. It is thread sealant, but it's called True Blue because it's basically Teflon paste with blue thread lock in it. And you put your wheel nuts on with this, and then you have a real fun time getting them off next time. So if they if they really don't want to come off, you can basically lightly glue them on. And with the 17 millimeter, we've had to do that many times. Just a little. Put some on your finger. Just a little swipe across the threads, and that will be plenty. Otherwise, as I said, when you go to take it apart, it's not coming apart. Any chance of a matte black? No, it can't. It's got to be. In my mind, it has to be olive drab. It's got to be an M35. Yeah, the guys that I was hell diving with, talking about Michigan weather, the Pennsylvania, New York area. He said that on like on Tuesday it was 68, and on Wednesday it was 22. If you are running SLW hubs with certain non-compatible hexes, they will wiggle loose no matter what you do. That sounds like facts. That sounds like facts. It really depends. I mean, I've had the problem with some wheels and not had it with others. Oh, absolutely, 100%. Or I don't know if it's yeah. Bill Truitt says with a faded white star on the door. I guess it depends on what time frame are we going to go with, because in World War II, 100% for sure would be the white graphics on it. But anything after that, I'm pretty sure it's the matte black graphics on it. Mr. Saxton says, how do I like Helldivers 2? You know, it's really fun, and I was joking with some of the guys I was playing with yesterday that, like anyone else, I need a break from my time playing with toy cars, and what better break to have than to play a video game? And it is a video game that is so reliant. It's on the one hand, the whole layout of it, the notion of it infuriates me, in that it's a game that you download, so you don't actually own anything, and then you can't play it offline. There's no offline component. It's only cooperative online, and the experience that you have on any given day is so absolutely determined by the other 3 people that end up in the squad with you, because there are people that you start to feel like they're among us, and they are actively trying to stop us from completing our objectives. My favorite part of the whole game, and the reason I keep playing it, is I love killing bugs. And killing bugs, aside from certain parts of the missions, you don't get anything for killing the bugs. I just want to kill bugs. But at the same time, I also want to play the objective. Do I have a 3D printer to make custom parts with? I do. And I need something to prompt, prod, and provoke me into taking it out of the box, because it's been sitting in a box over there next to my laser since November. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about me and 3D printing that we just... It's like we're not on the same page. I don't know what it is. But I want to get it going. I got it because I wanted to try printing inserts for tires, because, as I'm sure you're all aware, we've got a couple tires here. Wow. The M16 bin has betrayed me, in that 2 of them are 16s and 2 of them are 15s. And the mount for that is so tight. Like I had to crisscross tighten that to get it down. I have a file to make rear inner fenders for baseline. Well, damn it. Now I've needed to set the thing up before, but now is there a service? Can I get somebody to come to my house and set up a 3D printer for me? Where does this thing mount? very confusing. Oh, that mounts to the horn. Okay. It's a little bit less confusing. That goes like that and like that. Okay. Okay. On the last live, you talked about the guy that does crazy scale builds. What was his name or channel? Oh yeah, somebody pointed. I don't want to butcher it. Oh yeah. Okay, I can type it in chat. I forgot. I have that. Yes. Okay. I didn't want to ruin his name. You will just Google this. Bam. Bam. His stuff is amazing. Yeah, he's on YouTube. He's got 167,000 subscribers. Yeah, the custom, like the stuff he does is basically just pure custom. It's so cool. I want to see, are there any parts of this I can put together that don't require painting first? That's what we're going from. Leaves. Does this vehicle only have 2 shocks? Gare says, I'll be in Southern California in September for Proline. If it's still in the box, I'll help, but I get to run the course. You don't have to set up a 3D printer to be able to run the course. You can run the course as much as you want. If you're here in the area, you are absolutely welcome to come and run the course. Don't feel like you have any kind of obligations. Look at these little, so we've only got shocks in the front. Oh, they're so greasy. I just dumped those out of the package onto my hand without a second thought. Let's see if it's the same sort of just mineral oil in them. Oh, they are internally sprung. These are well and truly dampers. We've got a pen spring from the inside, and then for fun, we'll pop one of these out. You want to talk about a damp? I mean, I applaud the machine work. Look at this. 2 O-rings. We've got a base O-ring and a middle O-ring. There's no holes. So, grease. So you just run these greased. So as they are pretty well oiled, I'm not 100% sure there's a need to even take the other one apart. Let me see. Yeah, there's basically Now, I would ordinarily, were we in normal world and not giant cross 12-pound deuce and a half world, I would say that spring feels awfully stiff, but it's got to hold the front of this rig up, so suddenly it doesn't. Suddenly it doesn't feel so stiff. Casual Crawlers gets it. If you fab stuff out of aluminum in under a few hours, I can see why your printer isn't getting used. Mine has earned its money many times over, but I have no shop. It's whatever works best. Yeah. That's accurate. I mean, if I need to make something, I have considered myself, and I've said it jokingly in the past. Well, half tongue in cheek, which is I'm a human 3D printer. I need a part. I will grab some aluminum or some Delrin or acrylic or ABS or whatever it might be, and I'll just make it. And in the time it would take me to figure out how to set up the files and get the thing, forget about 3D designing something. In the amount of time it would take me to figure out the 3D design software, I will already have made the part out of aluminum. Did you set up arrows for the course so everyone knows which way they're going? I am still trying to figure out what is the best way to do that, because the balls rotate and the bases are not physically attached. It's just a nail in a hole, so they rotate as well. I have the newest course, the Green Line or the Green Mile or whatever we go with calling it. It has a definite flow that goes 1 through 9, but like the back 9 doesn't. I tell people, oh, go this way, go that way, go this way. There needs to be some way out there to market that isn't just me spray painting arrows or triangles on the ground. Though, now that I've said that aloud, I'm thinking I could, yeah, they have little white lines on some of the lines in Moab. So yeah, make my stuff like a cardboard stencil so that I can just put lines down. The weather will destroy them rather quickly anyway, so it wouldn't be too bad. So there are the drive shafts. You know what? I can definitely get the QC card for the HC6. I can definitely get some leafs mounted. The local group to me uses a different color to mark the driver's side gate. Oh, clever. I like that. I like that because I would only have to... Oh, I like that. Yeah. Golf balls come in white, too. So I could have a white ball on one side and a yellow ball on the other. Oh. See? See? You guys are the best, man. Because that's why I have the dude who's behind like the most recent, you can see the axle of it hanging right back there. It came from the Workbench 32, that blinged out Vanquish. The guy behind that, I've mentioned him before, he's legally blind. He's often sitting right down here. There's a chair at the end of my, there's a workbench that is caddy corner up to my workbench, and he's sitting over there. And I will be struggling through a problem, and I can't figure out what to do. And then he will just say something, and he does what the guy did that said, why don't you turn your TRX4 into a TRX6? And I just stared into space angrily because I was like, why didn't I think of that? He does that all the time because he's outside the problem and I'm inside the problem. And I get inside the problem until I can't see anything but the problem. And he's like, just do this. Yeah, the homemade VRD stubby, that for me, the top shaft was the one that I was the most concerned about. Making the standoff, those standoff tubes, that's nothing. Because I have 2 lathes. So, if you have the equipment, it's like my same buddy that gives me all the best ideas. He will shake his head in dismay when I was doing a lot of the Scion parts and I would sell bushing kits. He knew that there was about $2 in Delrin rod in a set of bushings. And he'd be like, you are a criminal because you charge like I had a bushing set that went under the shifter and then a bushing set that goes at the end of the linkages. And I sold the 8 bushings in a pack together with the hardware for $42. Now, that $42, $2 of that is the material. That's nothing. Cost about $6 to ship it. There's $6. I had to buy the nuts and the washers to go with it. That was about another $3 each. By the end of the day, what it came down to is I'm not even charging for labor, really. I'm charging for my time, yes, but it's mostly that what I would say to him is, yeah, you can absolutely do this. All you need is about $2,000 worth of equipment and 25 years of experience, and then you can knock them right out. And he would say, you're still a criminal. Because, the material cost is generally the smallest cost of anything that you're building. The machinery to make the stuff and then tooling is going to be expensive. I have a drawer full of cobalt drill bits. There's where's this guy right here? So that's like $40 in drill bits. And some of these don't even get used. But yeah, this is where it comes from, man. You especially if I'm buying something for the purposes of doing this, then I have to mentally justify what are you even doing? Yeah, you can. Gares says I need to buy new aluminum tubes. If you happen to have, so see this little fella, axial 6x106. These are the exact same diameter tube as what Vanquish uses, pre-threaded 3mm on one end. You basically just cut it to the length that you need, re-thread one end, and bish bosh, you're done. I have more than one that came with the plastics and has axial links shortened down because I didn't want to spend what does Vanquish sell for, like $9? I didn't want to spend the $9. Yeah, Travis Stevens says you're paying for the years of experience. That's the old, it's probably made up. It's probably a product of the internet, but they have the thing about where the guy he's talking about George Washington is in it. And he wants to get his land surveyed. And George Washington just comes out, takes the stake out of his hand, walks over to the corner and just stabs the stake in the ground. And then tells the guy that it's like $2 or whatever, which at that time was an incredible amount of money. And he's like, $2? You were here for 5 seconds. And he goes, you're not paying for the 5 seconds. You're paying for the 20 plus years of experience. And I, as a person who's now made something for over close to 30 years now, I've been making parts. Yeah, you're paying for the experience. I'm self-deprecating and self-effacing a lot in that I'm like, yeah, I'm just muddling my way through it. But at the end of the day, I'm standing at a building I built, working on a bench that I built, with the racks next to it that I built. And it might not be, I'm not building skyscrapers here, but building's still standing. And I can make a half decent part. I just put the over gears in the XF transmission. Yeah. It is the XF and the Stealth X are indeed under because they are truly under driving the rear axle. The rear axle is moving more slowly than the middle gear in the gearbox. So that is truly underdrive. What do I think? David Sainty says, what do you think of the FMS FCX10? I had another person ask me on Instagram about if I would be interested, is it on my radar? Yeah, I would love to see FMS's take on the TRX4, which because it, on the one level, it tickles me, as people will talk all day about how the TRX4 is outdated, but people keep imitating it. So also, I mean, those are gone forever. Just from the images, I want to see. I have never seen servo on axle with the servo mounted vertically above the axle. I'm intrigued just for that. But FMS put it at $399.99, which is the extremely competitive region of vehicles. And in FMS fashion, it's only available as an RTR. And I've looked at the electronics, and the electronics are every bit as RTR as one would expect. Like the steering servo and the speed control and the motor and the radio, it's got a G4P. You've just got to throw it away. Like, props to FMS for actually using a separate speed control and receiver, but it's still a 1040. It has dig. Damn it. But what I had told the guy on Instagram, might have been Facebook Messenger, one or the other. The G-Made Spider is $369 for the kit. And I would with portals. Is it I think it's the first G made with portals. I would tend to be more likely to go with the Spider. It's a kit. It looks super cool. I'd like to try the G-Made portals because I know the GA44 axles from G-Made are already a known quantity with me. They use the GRC G2 style portals. Well, they use their version of that. Yeah. You know how I am about Dig. If Dig is an option, I want that option. Okay. I didn't look nearly closely enough at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know I dropped leaves, but this leaf stack has got 5 leaves in it, and I've only got 4 leaves per side. That's adjustable. Okay. I went and looked at the images on FMS. Yeah, so it had a bunch of instructions for assembling the drive shafts, and there they are. It looks like Cross just went ahead and built a bunch of stuff. Well, when they Andy Yates says, thankfully, at least they didn't use a panhard with their 4-link in the front. That's Charisma territory. Charisma loves 4-link with a panhard, or 4-link with chassis-mounted steering, which is also that's not a thing. Who is sending me Instagram messages? Is he also in the chat? I swear I saw this guy's name. Yeah, there he is up there. Oh, there we are. Accept primary. Primary. Oh, there's no image yet. Has anyone seen the Yikon 4106 with cutting brake? It locks only one rear wheel depending on which way you're turning. Huh. Okay, so in betwixt the images, the promotional images, and the release, we've gone from separate to 2-in-1. That's a shame. That's a shame. Because we all know. What are these? What are those? Oh, this isn't helping. Oh, no. Okay. I'm so glad that I have the comments to and to take a break from the 10.3 build. I'm tired of Axial making me purchase $40 in special servos because of one plastic piece. What? Gares, let me know what they've got you with, and I have probably figured out a workaround for it, because I've done base camp and regular 10.3, and I refuse to use their stupid crap. I'm going to guess regular 10.3 with the horrible placement of the Dig and 2-speed servos right next to each other. When there was that whole slider, they could have put anything on that slider that they wanted to, and then just was like, nope. Okay, 71073. Okay, so 71073. Yeah. Okay, so I need these. This organization is amazing. 71073. That's the top leaf. And then I need 22105. Boy, I hope these are to scale. Because here's what I just found out. All right. coming back into the cross here for a moment. So here's your build. There's your stack, and I was like, that's a lot of leaves, right? 5 per side. Well, I need a aluminum bookmark. So here's your top leaf, the one that actually has the rings to bolt onto the leaf hanger. But then under that, these are plastic, and they come in 94 different lengths, and that's not even all of them. There's more. So I'm guessing that these are probably the bottoms. I'm jumping ahead. 30, 904. This is truly something else. I can't even find 30904. Oh, that's the bracket. 22106. No, that's plastic. That is plastic. Now let's see. That's the shortest one. Is that the scale? Okay, that's got to be a 22104. Unless that is the shortest one. That is the shortest one. So the images in the manual are not to scale. That is deeply unfortunate. I love the 7 kg Injora micros. You know, if they would put at least a 1080 in some kits, it would get my attention. I know of one. I know of at least one RTR that has a 1080 in it. It is from whom we do not speak. So Miata Commuter, who knows leafs, says that plastic helper leafs are an excellent idea. And I don't know leafs, so I am going to take their word for it. I am just going to organize them by length, and use the, okay, those are 4 the same length, yeah, and then use the 4 shortest in order to build this leaf stack. Yeah, there are so few kits. It is well and true. Or usually there are at least some parts assembled after an hour. Like, okay, listen, you. This is to call this daunting. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. John Peck asks, what's your best personal rig? Define best. What do we mean by best? And then I will try to formulate an answer from there. Oh yeah, self-damping. Right. Yeah. Plastic doesn't do the metal thing. Yeah. All right. So we need 22106, which are the shortest ones. And then we need 22104. And then 22102, which are the next ones up. So it goes like that. I get the feeling I'm going to have to do this twice. 2. Oh, okay. 22104, 22105, which I think are these. Boy, I hope that's right. On a random day when you want to go crawling on the rocks, which rig do you keep going back to? Hmm. Uh, Honestly, like if I have to grab, so Daphne the Sport is my sentimental favorite, but I would say if I'm going to grab one rig, like somebody says, "Hey, let's go crawling," and I grab one rig, it's Argentum the Phoenix. That's who I go with. This he lives right up here. That way he's nearby. Zoku Phoenix with all the bells. He's got the sweet light bar. He just like from when he's got rock lights. From when he was built, I call him cheat codes because you feel like you're cheating. It just looks good. He drives good. He's so good, and still has that like looks like a trail truck, feels like a trail truck, but performs way above what he is. Like, still got the big tall body and everything. Like, there are rigs that are certainly more capable with significantly less money put into them. But I love driving that rig. I love driving Daphne Sport. I love driving them all on some different level. They are all different experiences. But if I'm just grabbing one, people are like, "Let's go!" I grab that one. He's been around. I've got a cloned too low gearbox heading my way to go into an element linked AMK carbon chassis to replace my Stealth X on flexibility. Good improvement. It's going to lower your CG, I would say. And I would say the only issue that you're probably going to have putting a too low into an element is element in an AMK is the drive shaft output. Digging. Okay, so they have to be mounted one way. Motor goes right here. If you're not running an outrunner, honestly, you're probably going to want to, because most chassis, the way this sits, this is going to want to hit the frame. And when you move this over, so imagine the rail is here and the rail is here. When you move this over enough to where this isn't interfering anymore, this drive shaft output is usually right where your upper link is. So then, now we're looking at it straight down from the top. You got to clock it over a little bit like that. In most instances, it's just really irritating to get this into the chassis. I got pretty lucky in that mounting it in this chassis, but I mean, you can see the motor is touching the frame rail right there. So it's fortunate that that was the gearing that I was going to go with. And then the amount that the link, and it's because I'm running a much shorter upper link than I ordinarily would be. It would ordinarily be forward another hole, but it's not going to happen. And I had to go with this drive shaft because a full-size drive shaft on the upstroke would hit the screw head. And also you notice it's mounted inside out so that the lock nut is on the outside of the rail. And this chassis, the high-low, it's dropped way down so that I have that room, and there's a 10 millimeter spacer under the gearbox. So the too low it's a fight to get it into some chassis. My other is right here. Luckily, he's also close. So I have two rigs fitted with too lows, and to get it in here, because I designed this chassis, and this chassis was not designed with the too low in mind. If you look at it just right, the gearbox is angled down that way and back that way. And the clearance is so tight that you see the silver. When the motor is under load, it will touch the chassis rail. So it's turned, it's kicked, and it's angled. So I had to build a custom wedge to angle it in 3 directions. But there it is. What length drabs do I need to order for the Zoku? I prefer ultra shorts. That's 85s. You can get away with bigger, and you know what? I only have to walk this far. So there's nothing hard and fast about the setting. So these are 95s on here. So we get quite a bit of travel and quite a bit of flex. And then our Genom, the boy who was just here before, he is on big bores, which are 85s. So it's very similar, but between an 85 and a 95. I lean more towards the 85. It will be very interesting to see how that new build does on 95s, because on my Zoku chassis, on straight axle and portal, I really like the regular big bore length, the 2660s. I like the 85 millimeter length. Why didn't you widen the chassis rails apart? Because it's already about as wide as I can go. I want to say, is it the conventional width or is it wider? Yeah, it's already around 80 millimeters wide. And going wider than that, I mean, optimally, I build a new, I'm trying to get this guy put away. Optimally, I build a new chassis to fit. That's the thing I haven't done. And that's why that gearbox is still here waiting for a build in the future. Because I will build a chassis for this. Even if it means that the thing is spaced over. So I'm putting a little boy on here. Like an S12 from Rhino Crawler. So the motor only comes out like that far. So I can have this thing out all the way over. I want to use offset pumpkin. I'll have this over the side, over the skirt, so that the spur gear is actually past the center line. That I don't think it would work right in a centered pumpkin. But yeah, it's a great gearbox. But I'm never going to lie to anybody and say that there aren't going to be potential issues with getting it to fit into whatever you're trying to get it to fit into. I just realized I'm building the front 3904. I will get leaf springs on this front axle if it's the only thing I'm successful in doing today. And you realize I'm trying to talk myself up. I have next to no confidence that I'll actually get to do it. Okay, I know I saw the little parts that the leaves sit on. I think I have a 7% confidence that I saw the parts that the leaves sit on. Desert Lizard 110s. I hope your rig is big. Because Zoidberg runs Desert Lizard 110s. Oh, maximum performance. I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised that it's dog bones in the front. So, yeah, we're not getting a ton of steering angle. But again, I ain't mad, because we're building. This is definitely a scale operation here. No, I don't see him in there either. No. There's a bunch of metal in there. How about you? Nope, that's lights. That's drive shafts. That's hardware. I saw them. They are black. And they are little seats. No, I don't think that's it. Nope, they have holes in them. Ooh, wedges. Maybe. No. Maybe. No. Oh, those are the hangers, though. I'll need those at some point. Drav Ultra Shorts are 78.5. Are they? I don't know if that's right. I'm looking around. Where is there a rig on Drav Tech? Those are big bores. Am I thinking shorts? Am I looking for Drav Tech shorts? Okay. So Ground Fox is on Drav Tech's. Oh yeah, shorts, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, these are shorts on here. 96s. I don't know. Then I don't think I have any Drav Tech Ultra shorts. So I guess I've just been thinking shorts. Who's another one that's on? Yella's on Drav Tech's as well. But I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're not 80 millimeters long. So it has to be shorts and not ultra shorts. Why did I think? Yeah. Maybe this is why I keep going with 2660s, because I love 85 millimeter. 85 millimeter is where it's at. They got to be in here, unless they're gray. Wheel hexes. So many wheel hexes. Pivot balls. No. Plastic and metal pivot balls. They're not in there. They're not in there. 3904. They're not, it's not helping me out here. No. 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 I don't know. They're definitely not attached to the axle. Oh, there you go. The drafts for the 1/18th are ultra short. Yeah, I believe that is correct. I am stymied by the finding the spring cradles. No. Nope. Nope. I'm using it. Nope. I'm using a semi-process of elimination. I'm actually, oh, is it right here? Or is it? No, it's the other guy. I have one rig now that has split shock length, that has different shock lengths, front and rear. Just the one. I gotta say, it's bordering on frustrating at the moment. I cannot find 30904, the little cradles that hold the leaves. I think I found them. They're metal. Yes! I don't want to lose anything else out of the package. Building a Wraith Spawn. I wish I could, Mr. Stogsdal, I wish I could help you with Shocklink for a Wraith Spawn, but hopefully someone in the chat will get you because I got no idea. That's before my time. 11210 is M16 with some thread lock. Okay. So to someone that the person who said I saw it out of the corner of my eye that they're doing the 65 FJ cab, the MST, from what I am told, I cannot confirm, but from what I am told, the MST cage for the back of the J45C will bolt right on. You can bolt it right onto that body. So if you want to do the cage bit, if you're sitting around that 313 wheelbase, you can put it. And the cage is not expensive, under $30, like $25, something like that. Gare says, I know you hate the Wendigo. I felt a Builder's Kit brand new on eBay with. I used a 1080 and basically built a TC8. I love it. It's like my Rift. Doesn't do anything well, but I love driving it. The Wendigo still fills me with an unquenchable rage because, I mean, I guess what the problem was is I wanted it to be what it said that it was, like a rock racer, and it was borderline undrivable, and nothing I tried to do to it made it any better. I was furious, and there was another crawler channel who shall, for the purposes of the day, remain nameless, who raved at length about how amazing the Wendigo is. And based on that recommendation, I thought to myself, you know what? I'd like to give that a try. And it is in the running for my greatest regret in the hobby was buying that Red Cat Wendigo. It didn't have it did not have a good day. It did not have a good minute of a good day in my hands. And I still think back on it with great anger. It is funny that someone should mention, after the last live stream, look around for that MST J45 bed cage. I know that I've seen them for cheaper than the 33 on A-Main. But if you're an A-Main guy like me, then, just buy it on A-Main. It's A-Main and Amazon is like 85 to 90% of the stuff that I buy. I said the last video, you said you have too many 20 millimeter, not 18. You can cut M3 screws, but then the end is a vicious, angry, and then you got to grind them down, and then the thread's got to. Yes, you can indeed cut screws down, but it tends to be mean. Scrolling back up a little bit, Machine Dread says, "What about the Marksman? Holmes likes it." Well, and ordinarily I'd have like a cut right there, but I can't do that. It's live. So one of you, I don't know, I can't remember. Yeah. I think he's in the chat today. Someone after last week's installment, where somebody said I should have to do a video where I pretend to like something. He sent me an email and he said, this should be good for some entertainment. I will give props where props are due to that gentleman. But sometime coming up in the next week or so, you will indeed be forced to bear witness to. Yeah. And they have no leg to stand on in having crappy RTR gear because it's got a Crawlmaster, a 1080, and they call it a Hex Fly, but that's just an Amazon Red Case 25 kg. Now the problem is, and I think that this is part of the reason that devil did the devilish deed. The XR247, yeah, those are Wendigo axles. So the Wendigo axle it's not great, but you know what we do. We gonna do it. We gonna do it. So that's been sitting over here on the bench. Yeah, it's true. Oh, I'm saying, yeah, it's true, too. If you put a nut on the screw before you cut it, you take off the nut and it will clean the threads. Yes, it's true. We have had to cut screws for years because finding screws of specific lengths that are full thread, sometimes McMaster doesn't carry them, particularly in socket cap. So we would have to cut them to the length that we wanted. But honestly, I think what it comes down to for me is if I can avoid it, I'm gonna. I can at the very least get the leafs on the axles. I will feel like I've accomplished something. It's been an hour and a half. I've put 6 screws in. This is ridiculous. But I mean, I'm not going to say this is unanticipated. When I peeked into the box, I was like, it's a model. I love building models. Honestly, I thought though that like with the metal, I thought it was going to have metal top and bottom. Now let's see what this feels like. Oh, you know what? No, they're onto something. Yeah. The plastic spring pack, leaf spring pack, I get it. Pretty clever. RPP is pretty good. It just that for those who know, when you order a lot of stuff on AMain, you're eligible for the different tiers of the rewards program. As one would imagine, I am the top tier of that. I spend way too much money at AMain Hobbies, so I get the coupons and the discounts and the free shipping, and that's how they get me. I'm fine if there's a home improvement vibe. I'm fine with that. Wilson was borderline sane, and in the spirit of home improvement, I think we were collectively let down when they finally showed him to us. They never should have shown him to us. They should have done like what was it? Costanza's mom from Seinfeld. We never got to see her. It's moving too fast. VIP, yeah. I mean, I imagine there are people out there that spend more money than I do on. Oh, I forgot about it. I imagine there are people out there that spend more money than I do on AMain. But if they are just like normal people living out in the world, that is frightening. Because I spend an uncomfortable amount of money at a hobby store. And the amount of money that I spend at that hobby store does not, it's not even in the same area code as the money that I've spent at Lowe's and Home Depot in my days. I doubt it's caught up to the amount of money I've spent on raw materials at places like AMain, which, in true confession, I've been ordering from for 20 years. So yeah, I should hope I've spent more money there. So Ty Joe, For frame of reference, I generally hit platinum on A main by like May. The annual spending by May has gotten me to platinum. I kept track of receipts to A main 1 year and stopped keeping track by April. Yes. I don't even look. I don't look at order history. I don't want to remember what the order numbers used to be. The RC four-wheel drive Warren hubs need to be held on with Loctite. The Loctite RC hubs have Loctite's pressed in. Yeah. Okay. What did I miss about hubs? Scrolling back up. Warren hub or locked up RC locking hub nuts. Oh. Do you mean, okay. Here's what, man, let me finish a thought and a sentence simultaneously. What we have experience with here is we use lock nuts, and then I love the SSD scale hubs, the ones that just use this tool. These are M5s. Everything I have that has an M5 axle, which means all the Phoenicians, all have these because they use the same tool, whether it's for M4 axle or M5 axle. And I love that. I hate having to cram that stupid tool. 5mm lock nuts were never designed to fit inside of an SLW hub, so I love these. I also like these guys from the G-Mades. They're with the little thread-on cap that go on. I use those about half as much. They're much cheaper, particularly if you order them from G-Made, because it's usually like about $12 for the whole set. And these are usually like $10 a pair. But they do work, and it's a lock nut. And it's more of a commitment thing where once you know what your setup is and you're not going to be putting your wheels on and taking them off 17 times a week, then you put some fancy hubs on there. I love the SSD ones. I don't know about the RC four-wheel drive ones. I've never tried them, so I'm not ruling them out. I'm just saying that I haven't tried them, so I can't say, yeah, get those. Because I don't know if they're any good. How do you know what level you are? On your page, on your account page, you can go and when you look at your main account, it'll say like view my VIP status and rewards. And not only will it show you what level you are, it will show you what your annual spend has been so far. And if it doesn't make you gasp, then I don't know. You're either doing it right or doing it wrong. I don't know which. BMFRC says, I have 27 rock crawlers out maxed out, ranging from 900 to 2,000. I'm guessing close to 30,000. I would like to say that I hope I don't have competitive numbers to that, but oof. I don't do it. We learn this with bicycles. Never added up. I think we stole that from golfers. Don't golfers always talk about? We don't talk about how much we've spent on all the stuff put together. I will join the golfers in that. You can't judge how good of a time you're having by how much it cost, right? Because if you're thinking about how much, this thing costs this much, I have to derive this much enjoyment out of it. That's the wrong way. That's the wrong way to live, right? And with many rigs, particularly rigs around here, I mean, seeing as we've already pulled down 2 out of the 3 that live right above my head, who is the rig that's had some of the most amounts of money dumped into him? Because if you've got to work a day, we can. Here's a small spoiler alert. What's Baseline up to? Okay, so you've got C-Hub. Is it this one or is it the other one? It's this one, because that shock's blown out a little. This is completely stripped out. When he binds this wheel up, it just rotates the C-Hub all the way around, and then this wheel is like practically laying flat on the ground. Look at the wear on that pumpkin. This is his 3rd front axle housing. So we will be on axle housing number 4 for this guy. He blew up 2 ring and pinion and has the hardened ring and pinion replaced. He chipped a tooth on the rear ring at one point and has a new ring and pinion in there. He's going to have to get an all plastics refresh for his XF because after doing all the motor testing, all the screws are starting to get loose on the thing that holds the motor down. There's actually a tiny little bit of movement in it now. He needs a full go through and re-grease on the inside. He's starting to get loud. He's got a lot of play in him, even for an Element. But yeah, this poor guy is the guy who gets treated as if I only own one rock crawler, when in reality there's like a lot. I mean, some of them will sit on a shelf and not move for 3 months, 4 months until the wheels are like, get that guy and drive him. I think somebody said they want to see the gears, and it looks like it's just 4 screws. That doesn't... Did that feel like it had any thread lock on it? It really didn't. Is Cross RC four-wheel driving us? Oh, no, yeah, there's stuff on there. There's stuff. Let's see what our grease situation looks like. Okay, so it's one piece. It's centered. It's definitely the RC four-wheel drive style, where if you want to get the bearings out, you have to take the axle halves apart because the bearings are kept captive in there. I do wonder if there is such a thing as universals for this, because they're really going to kill the steer angle. Looks like a fairly standard size ring and pinion, but I wouldn't put a wager on it. I don't know, it just looks like it. Very Yoda looking, but definitely a different size. Yeah, it's white lithium, so it's well greased. I'll give them that. Well, Barry, let me tell you something. 4 rigs is a perfectly acceptable amount for a sane person. I would not have any sense of embarrassment or anything like that, or any kind of FOMO in having 4 rigs. Yeah, in terms of the thickness of the walls on this axle, I don't think breaking a housing on one of these axles is a thing that could happen. Yeah, 4 in a year. Someone's siping 2-2 Canyon trails. I call what I do siping. The cut and sipe, it's not really siping. I'm just cutting lugs out. I got the ones from... I still need to get these mounted up to something. The set that's fully siped. Every lug is siped. They're cut and then they're siped. I want to get these mounted up on something, and I have an idea of what I want to get them mounted on. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that if and when we get to that. I get ahead of myself. All right. If I can get leafs on the rear 2 axles, and I'm gonna, if I can get that to focus, I'm gonna have to stare at this image right here for a while, because it looks like the mid shaft is offset. And that is right side up. Oh my. Oh my, indeed. But look, I built something. I've now put 8 screws in. 4 into this axle and 4 into this servo mount. That's 8 screws, ladies and gentlemen. 8. Weird. It only took an hour and a half. 2 lines on each lug and 3 on the 2.2. Woof. Woof. Well, if you people talking about rig numbers, 10, honestly, 10 is a lot. I would consider it a lot, and I'm standing in a corner. So imagine a shape that goes out like this, and right over there are 15, and there's 3 above my head, and then that garage over there has 8 in it, and then the garage on the other side of that has 8 in it, and then the end of the workbench has 5 on it right now, and then visitor garage is right on the other side of this tire wall, and it has 5 on it right now. And that doesn't count any of the Go Fast vehicles, the Kraton, the Centon, any of the Slash-based stuff. It's a lot. It's a real lot. The beauty of it is, and here's the beauty of this, I learned this again, we harken back to bicycles, I learned this from bicycles in that when you have one bicycle, you tend to break more stuff. I have so many rigs, and currently, I don't think, my memory is indeed hazy, but I don't think any of them are broken right now. I think they're all in good shape. Well, to be chic says, I can see removing lugs from canyon trails, but the siping seems like too much work to me. Is it really worth doing? I don't know. I know a bunch of people do it, but I also know that I lack the patience to do it. So I have multiple sets. I have a fully siped set, cut and siped, sitting right next to a cut set that is just cut, sitting next to a completely bone stock set. So I'm not ruling out the possibility of me being bored on an afternoon, taking 3 sets of identical Amazon Method 105s, mounting them up and just going bish, bosh, bish, and seeing, like, what are we looking at? You know, they're all about a similar degree of wear. There's a little less wear on the uncut ones. That's kind of like why I leave these uncut. That's our true control group, because baseline on the cut canyon trails, which are RTR compound, can do pretty much anything. He can go pretty much anything and go pretty much anywhere. He sets up courses with me, 40 millimeter, 41, 3. Whoa, that's a wild looking part. Now I got to get back in this bag. I will get leafs on here. I will. Again, I'm convincing myself. 04. Okay, I need 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then these crazy Y-shaped ones. How many am I building? 2? 1, 2, 2. Who has the largest? Not me. I'm all but sure someone in the comments has a SCX6, which I've seen in person, but I have no experience with one. Where did I see those little rods? Okay. Here's how 8S Outcast is going to be pretty big. I don't know if it's SCX6 big. Oh, someone hasn't been here since the beginning because they just asked about the FMS Blazer. We are intrigued as a group, but I'm most concerned about the $399.99 price tag for an unknown quantity, I should say. I guess Hollywood. Yeah, I mean that's the thing for me. Why I'm a 10th scale guy. I don't get it. I don't. Okay, I get it. To some people, the allure is they get bigger and bigger and bigger, but I don't. Not I. I. In my experience, the bigger they get, is just the more likely you are to break something. Because what did somebody mention? I want to say it was in a comment on another video that somebody mentioned that an SCX6 weighs 25 pounds. And I was like, yoicks. Well, as Mr. Saxton points out, that the $399.99 for the FMS, what is it, FCX10, there is no more sport kit. So you would have to look at it in terms of it only being $20 more than a sport RTR. Because Traxxas went ahead and discontinued the sport kit out from under us. Element Trail Runner. What to do with it? Now, am I correct in that the Trail Runner is IFS? I had an RC10 T3. I had a T3 many, many moons ago. And the thing is, if you look at what are they up to now? T7? If you look at whatever they're up to now, it hasn't really changed that much. They just make like little geometry tweaks and then release it as something new. And yes, they are not lying in that I have, what did they say? 8 screws? Okay. I just wanted to make sure that they were still, and I have put these 4 things halfway together. That's 8 screws. I also took that cover off of that and put it back on. I'm going to count those 4 screws. We're in double digits on the screws, giving me the business. 41336. B7. And they've made microscopic changes. This is getting more confusing by the moment. What is 41336? Associated B7. It's just like bikes. Bicycles and the non-analog versions, motorcycles, they come out with new ones every year. And it's some minor incremental upgrade over what we had before. And I presume what is the hope of that all the early adopters will have to get it. I mean, we get 5-gear stealth in the B7. Oh, well, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear that everything old is new again. We're gonna bring back the old legacy stealths with all the gears. We're just gonna keep putting more gears in them. I've lost all the marbles. I've lost all my marbles. I've lost all the hollow balls again. This I'm gonna blame this on why. If you think way back to the day of Top Gear before Grand Tour, they did one where they converted full-size cars to remote control. I don't think, but they were just like speeding around in a field. I don't think it would be conducive to rock crawling really, or any sort of technical driving. Hopefully all these hollow balls are the same size. That would be nice. Oh, so okay. Yeah, I am so out of the go fast loop now because can't even blame the pandemic, but because prior to that, the tracks are gone. The tracks are absolutely gone. Talking about this to a couple guys who were out here crawling recently. You go back in time to the early 2000s, when my children were new. You could drive from where I am located within a 60-mile radius. There was at least a dozen tracks and even more hobby shops. Outdoor off-road, outdoor on-road, indoor off-road, and on-road. You name it, we had it. 8th scale, 10th scale, 5th scale, it was all here. They're all gone. Everything's gone. It's gone. There's nothing left. OCRC is the closest indoor that I know of. It's about 65 miles away. We've got an 8th scale outdoor, and two of them. One that's about 30 miles away. One's about 25 miles away. I'm reasonably close to the biggest hobby store in the world, Pegasus Hobbies. And when they moved locations a while back, they got rid of their track. So their new location doesn't have a track. I don't know if this one's the plastic ones or the metal ones, but luckily I have a giant bin of these. And they are 8. Ugh, that's unfortunate. Nearest track for Sam Stevens is 100 miles away. Oof. And okay, I don't know if this applies to everyone, but it definitely applies to Southern California. We used to, the same thing with the tracks, bowling alleys. We now have 2 bowling alleys in a 15-mile radius. And then outside of that, the next bowling alley is 30 miles away. There used to be like 5 bowling alleys on one street. All the bowling alleys are gone. The bowling alley I grew up at and have rolled more bowling balls at than any other house is now some sort of county medical office. So all the tracks disappeared. All the bowling alleys disappeared. I don't know what's happened to the world. Whoa. Oh, there's also a comment almost disappearing over the top where somebody asks about a servo and axle mount for TRX4. The only one that I have experience with is Artful Dodgers. And it's pretty good. It has a 3D printed component, but then it also has a metal component, a stainless steel part. So I'm not the 3D printed component is just basically for the 4th link. So I'm not too worried about it durability wise, but I can't speak to any of the others. And on the one chassis that I had attempted to put the mount on, it was not going to work. It was absolutely not going to fit in that chassis. So it's been sitting in a box, and I am going to build something specific. So I will be fabricating a chassis for that, so that I have a place to use that Artful Dodgers servo and axle. I mounted it to the axle and it went on great, but then I went to try to attach it to the chassis, and the chassis was like, "Get out of here." M3 by 14. So some of the here's what I was missing. It was like it was past the curve. It was over the curve. I didn't see the X2, so I was just going ahead and building 2. Yeah. Yeah. I'm yaying in acknowledgement there. Mr. Yates, my local track in Portland is next to a kids' indoor sand pit place. Lots of families are coming in to watch, and lots shy when you tell them a buggy will cost 800 to 900 to get you started. Yeah, yeah. It's like this is the new golf. 8 to 900. Like, don't we wish there was some other? Oh wait, hold on. I need to. During the live stream, I'm going to take a phone call from my neighbor. Yes, sir. I am live streaming on the internet. What are you doing? Uh-huh. Uh, I mean, not right now, but soon. Yeah. Okay. Next week? Yeah, you've been over there. You've been spring cleaning. Well, I hadn't started moving that tan concrete because the ground over there was just goo. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. Eddie is has been spring cleaning back there, moving containers around. He painted like 3 containers yesterday, and he is pre-staging and piling up my next load of concrete for me, and he is going to help me move it next week, starting on Monday. So I guess I will be prompted to build another obstacle, which I'm going to make every effort not to lose focus, as I really want to build the waterfall next to the second pond part. So I need to. There's going to be more digging and more moving, and the concrete. It looks like a lot when it's sitting on the ground, and then you start building stuff out of it. And like I had said, Hannah Montana, the deadliest of the Montanas, is 2 full containers. So like 18 tons to build that. So, I mean, it is on Google Earth, so you technically can see it from space if you have a very powerful telescope. Oh, how many comments did I miss? Are you going to try out the new FMS FCX10? I would try out the Gmade Spider first, but I do want to try the FCX10. In your build process, how many hours of just staring at the build do you do? Because I spend many hours staring, planning on it. I am the opposite. I tend to just like this. I just throw bags out on the bench and I just start going with no real formulated plan. I'm on step 22 of the book. I'm just kind of bouncing around because I can't be trusted to maintain focus. So that goes like that, and then this goes like this. I haven't even opened the hardware bag yet. What are the worst stock crawler tires ever? That is, ooh, that's a tough call. It is not going to be from any of the big guys. If you wanted to narrow that down to what are the worst, so let's attack this from a number of angles. Okay, you've got what I call the big four: Traxxas, Axial, Element, and Vanquish. Traxxas is Canyon Trails. That's all they do. Axial is a number and or a range of scale tires, almost exclusively in their R35 compound, which is a so-so compound, better in some tires, worse in others. The Baja Boss is very good in it. The Trail Grabber and the Trail Grappler, the Nitto Trail Grapplers that come on like Capras are pretty bad. They're pretty bad. They're not great. They're not great at all. The stock tires that come on the Rift are okay. Not 100% necessary to replace them, but you're also not like, oh, these tires are the absolute best. I'm never going to replace these. I would say and then Element is going to get you the General Grabber, which gets pretty decent if you cut them. They respond almost as well as a Traxxas tire, as a Canyon Trail to being cut. And the Pin Seekers are surprisingly decent. I would honestly say VXT1s of the main guys, the VXT1 is the worst of the lot. They are not very good. They are pretty much a just replace that sort of a tire. Now, if you get out of that realm, okay, RC 4-wheel drive has rigs that had shipped with X4 compound tires, which is like harder than this. These are unbelievably hard. So, oh yeah. Like I said, if you can make the Starsky and Hutch noises, it's too hard. The stock tires that come on MSTs and Charismas are bad. Like really bad. We can't count Vanquish. Okay, so Vanquish will get a half point back because the Falcon Wild Peaks are red compound, so they're good. They do tear easily. Yeah, based on just the potential for tearing, I'm gonna put Vanquish down as worst RTR tires. Like the Falcon Wild Peaks are grippy, but you will rip them. I mean, you more than likely will rip them. So yeah, the worst RTR tire is certainly going to be something from the other guys here in the US, because we've got them, and then we have the Cross is not a mainstream vendor here. Neither is MST, Charisma. Yikong basically doesn't exist here. RGT, FMS. They're trying to get inroads in here, but it really doesn't work. The VXT2 was a tire that I was the most hopeful for and the most disappointed with. I gave them away because I never really... They were okay. They worked better wet than dry, which I always thought was strange. Oh no, that does line up. Yeah, I don't know why they're trying to make that look like it doesn't line up, because it totally does. Oh, because it doesn't. Look at this. Look at this distortion of reality. So it actually goes like that. Yeah, I would have messed that up. I would have bolted the leaves on upside down. All right. I need to find my pick. I have a pick. In terms of fanciful compounds, I talked about this in another video. Vanquish Red. I don't have Vanquish Red up in my top. It's not up at my top. My top is J Concepts Green. I would put, and I believe, I'm trying not to contradict myself. I think I put Vanquish Red above Proline G8, but only just. In my experience, I have found Red to be somewhat inconsistent. But in fairness to Red, my experience with number of tires in Vanquish Red is not expansive enough for me to outright condemn Red as, oh, I don't like it. It's just I've tested more tires in other compounds. Just scrolling up, but it does have. Yeah. Operator Rizzo, thanks for confirming. I got a Capra some time ago, and it took time to upgrade it with what I had, and it was frustrating, but it does have trail grapplers. Yeah. Any other tire on a Capra is going to be better. Like, literally. Any other tire than those grapplers. The grappler is pretty terrible, and if you put pretty much any Proline tire on there, any J-Concepts tire on there, if you put megalithics or ruptures or something on your Capra, watch out. You're going wherever you want now. Yeah. M3x14. The person who loves crawlers, I can tell you, you're not alone. I have had more than one person tell me directly that the crawler with the K is their absolute favorite tire. So, I mean, there must be something to it. I don't want to mess this up. I'm looking. I'm trying to figure out how this works. Okay, because it's where the, like, how do the leafs work on this? I hear him moving containers around out there. Oh! Okay. Never mind. I wasn't looking far enough ahead. Duratrax C3 is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated of compounds. I loved Duratrax tires. I miss Duratrax tires. Duratrax Deep Woods, still one of my sentimental favorites. Okay, I did that right. I'm triple checking. I don't want to have to unbolt everything in this. I know that it's almost inevitable that I'm gonna put something on in the wrong order because I love the mental capacity. I think I did. If you look way back, I think I did Proline Crow. The guy, I borrowed the rig from him to test crawlers. So it'll be way back in the quick views. If you go to the quick view playlist, you should be able to find the quick view of the crawlers. Like over a year ago, I would guess. Yeah, the KLRM is, I don't know, it's a tire that has never really, I like the trail spec size. Asia T sells Louise. I've been meaning to, I want to try Louise, like, what is it, Champs? I want to try Louise Champs and Fast Track Roccos because they are deep woods, and I want to see, well, they're the pattern of deep woods. Are they deep woods? Are the Duratrax tires that we can no longer get, these guys right up here, deep woods? Is it just this stenciled on the side? Is it the exact same tire? I'm curious of it, but again, the price stops me a little. So according to Operator Rizzo, I guess that maybe there is a difference, because he says the Louise compound and the Griffin are capable of going past Tuscan ruptures. Yeah, C3 is not. So the compound that we're getting, C3 is not in the same league with green. It's, if I remember correctly when I was talking about the compounds, I said green, and then we've got some stuff in here, and we've got Traxxas S1, and I put C3 compound for Duratrax just either close to parallel or just below S1s. But C3 up with green, no, not here, not here. That deep woods that I just pulled down against the tusk that's right below it, it's not really a competition. Best gearbox for basic crawlers. I'm going to go Stealth X. Because it's a 3-gear, but it allows you underdrive inside the gearbox, which is convenient. And because it has nylon output gears, it lives up to its name of stealth, and it's very quiet. So if you want something that with no dig, no anything like that, and it's the standard bolt pattern, you can have no underdrive, 6%, 12%, or 18% inside the box. So that will save you money on putting gears in your axles. Yeah, and you can buy them a la carte for like $60, the full stealth kit with all the parts for it. So yeah, I'm gonna go Stealth X. Now, if you want to add dig, you can get an Amazon dig box, and those things nowadays cost about $30, and that can't be beat. I've got ruptures on my MST, but they are too big for any kind of scale. Well, here's the thing about ruptures: just make your wheelbase longer. Once you get your wheelbase out to about 330 millimeters, ruptures look just fine. They look just fine. Is there an X4? Yeah, okay, X4. M3 by 6 times 8. Yes. What do I do with my tweezers? And I'm going to have to open the bag now. We're getting to where it's too many lock nuts. Ooh. Leadfoot, FPV. I wish I could confirm. I would, like I say, I would like to try Fast Tracks and Louise to see if the compound is all the same, if they are all molded in the same thing. But I can't say. Yeah, I guess with regards to the Stealth X, I guess they just recycled the name, because the gearbox that comes in the Elements, they have 2 flavors. They have the Stealth X and they have the Stealth XF. Oh no, no! The thing, the gentleman from Germany is talking about how Duratrax, or over there Fast Tracks, is beating J Concepts Green, and I believe it. I can 100% see it, because I have had absolutely horrible luck with virtually all Pitbull tires here. Pitbull Rock Beasts Pitbull Rock Beast XLs in Alien were bad here. Like bad. Like a mid-80s score in a quick view. And those tires are like $45 a pair. They're just bad. Here, there are guys on the East Coast, or that mid-South, the Carolinas in there, that swear by those tires. Like, all the comp guys run those tires. So maybe it's something about the climate. Like, that is not a tire for the desert, I guess. I can only speculate, because I know for a fact that they are, you can go watch the videos, they are bad. They're so bad that it looks like you would start to suspect that I'd sprayed them down with Pam or something. We've got the non-stick cooking spray on the tread before we take the tires out, because I could not get them to work. Oh, well, now he's saying Louise Class 1, and I will concur in that I have found the pivots, the Duratrax pivots in Class 1. They're amazing. They're up there with anyone else in Class 1, including RC four-wheel drive X2SS stuff. And I agree with Mr. Truitt. There is nothing wrong with a canyon trail, particularly because I would make the argument, and will continue to, that in terms of an RTR tire, they may be as good as you can possibly do, because you can cut them and they just get better. They are that good. I have rigs that could be running anything and still run canyon trails. Baseline is on canyon trails all day long. Yeah, that's C3. So different compounds, and it's not something that I would classify as inexplicable. I think it's completely explicable, which is different compounds. Like a Tusk in green, the sidewalls are really soft, maybe overly soft for some jobs. But if you take that same compound and you shrink it down, and this is in the case with Duratrax and like Class 1 pivots, it works so good. Like I would make an argument. It's not a fully backable argument, but I would make an argument that the C3 pivot is a grippier, more capable tire than a C3 Deepwoods. Despite the fact that they are, ostensibly the same compound from the same company. Yeah, and that's the thing about Louise. When you go to their website and look them up, crawler tires are like what they make the least of. It's 8th scale buggy, truggy, short course, on-road tires. They make tires for everything. And we go, so again, if we want to rant about the state of the industry, we got Horizoned hard because Duratrax, the OE supplier, was Louise since time immemorial. And then after the Horizon buyout, Horizon wanted to move it in-house, and they declined continuing their contract with Louise. And now there's one Duratrax tire, the Fossil, because, and this is only what I've heard, I can't confirm it, but they put Proline in charge of making the Fossil. But if you're a manufacturer and you're a company that makes things, what is the economic sense in continuing the Duratrax name when Proline is already potentially as established as a name can be? So I get why, if they're going to drop Louise, I can get why they're just dropping Duratrax as a thing. Duratrax used to make all sorts of stuff, chargers and you name it. Now there's one set of tires. Did you say it's like 700 cuts in the canyon trails? Yeah, because so I have to go on memory of math here. So you have 32 lugs, 2 rows of 32 lugs, and you have to make a cut and then a cut. So there's 2 cuts, so there's 64 and 64, so 128. And then I go to every other one on the side. Well, let me show a cut one. I go to every other lug. This one isn't cut all the way. I go to every other lug on the side, and I make a cut right through here. I snip that vertically. And on RTR compound, then I fold it, and I cut that point off. So that's 32 cuts total. So it's 128, that's 160, and it's 160 per tire, and you got to do it 4 times, so it's 720 cuts. Now, if they're S1 compound, I just make the snip, and I don't make the second cut. But no matter what compound it is, we cut the little mini lug, you cut that whole lug out. And they just work better. Like, it's not even, it's not arguable. It is immediately noticeable how much better they work with that lug cut out. Off to 1/8. The only nitro vehicle I've ever owned was an OFNA Pirate 10. Like something in between a monster truck and a stadium truck. For those wondering how I'm keeping my hands busy out of frame, is I can't get my hand in there, nor do I think anyone could. So I grabbed the lock nut in between some forceps. We get it right like that, which allows me to then, I finally bought myself a magnetizer demagnetizer, a little wee-ha, and that thing has helped me immensely, because honestly, some tools I would like to be magnetic and some tools I would not. And then this is how I get them started. And then once we're tightened down a little, I pop the forceps off. And then we get my favorite RC tool of all time, the Stahlwheel. Let me tighten them down the rest of the way. These are the leaf. I think I'm building the leaf mounts. I think. I don't know. I didn't look ahead. One more of those. One more of those. And somebody, I hope someone is diligently keeping track of how many screws that we've done today. We might get up to 20. Gaussian computer monitors. Yeah. Yeah, Amazon almost got me. There are plug it into the wall magnetizers, demagnetizers, and I was like, no. No way. I will operate that thing somewhere where I'm not supposed to operate it, and I will destroy something that I don't want to destroy. I will just take this little thing where you just basically, it was these. I don't want them to be magnetic, and look, they're not. And I don't want this to be magnetic, and I store it on the front of my little toolbox behind me on this magnet. So I'm asking that tool to be magnetic, so I just demag it every once in a while. And now it doesn't stick to anything, because it was getting really annoying. I would stick it into this to get a screw out and pull like 8 screws out with it. So it was definitely a purchase of necessity. Yeah, I'm not plugging a degausser into the wall, because I will find a way to turn that into a disaster. Even accidentally. Speaking of RC stands, I just ordered 2 more yoga blocks, because I'm the Raptor build is sitting over here on a cardboard box, because I've I've run out of yoga blocks. Within the month, I'm looking for double bent TRX4 links. Well, there's no such thing as a TRX4 link in my estimation. I buy these. Did I put on a peg where I put it? I buy these RC Lions links, which are not double bent, so they're not helping you. They're single bent, high clearance. I use them on everything. I use different rod ends to alter the length to what I need it to be. But I have seen some double bent. Do a look around on Amazon. I know for a fact I have seen a set of double bent links. Also, bending links, not that hard. Not that hard. Get yourself a torch from the home improvement store. Heat them up until they look a little bit of red. I use a little piece of pipe, a piece of tube that's a little bit bigger around than the link. And you put it over the link, you make a mark, you put it down to where that mark is, and you just bend them. It's not that hard. And when you're dealing with things like Amazon links, I mean, that set that I just showed, that RC Lion set, is like $16 for the whole link set. So if you mess up one link, order 2 sets, you know? Now, okay, so the gentleman from Germany says, any tool that is magnetic, it attracts things effectively when I don't need it to. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's going to grab everything you don't want it to. So what I do is I pass just the tip of this through the magnetizer side, and it makes it just magnetic enough to hold the screws on, but barely magnetic enough for the screw to actually stick to it. So, and I'm not cramming these into spaces, because when I'm trying to get this guy up into a chassis or something, all that wants to do is fall off. But because it's slightly magnetic, and that's the beauty of the Weha 400-10 magnetizer demagnetizer. Too magnetic? Demagnetize it a little. Just keep trying it until you get it to the way you like it. Yeah, but ordinarily I am opposed to anything that's any tool that's magnetized, unless it's a magnet, because a magnet is a tool. Like, you know, like magnet on a stick should be magnetic. I used one to fish stuff out of hot wax and demagnetize the magnet. Maybe I can remagnetize it on the thing. We'll see. Proline, Mark Saxton says Proline needs a compound between the ones they carry. From your lips to God's ears, do they ever need? Well, there is a compound that exists between G8 and Predator. It's called J Concepts Green. Proline doesn't make it, but J Concepts does. The owner only really stocks J Concepts and Schumacher. Wow. I wish your track was near where I am, because we have 2 hobby shops. One is part of the chain, Hobby Town. It's about 35 miles away. And one is the biggest hobby store in the world, Pegasus Hobbies, which is about 35 miles away. And they stock Proline and Proline, respectively. That's it. They might have a couple other sets of tires here and there, but it's pretty much just Proline and Proline. Well, I mean, actual Proline, the headquarters office, is closer to me than both of those hobby shops. So I guess that sort of explains why we're Proline dominated here in Southern California. I feel like I missed a step. Okay, I gotta do this. Okay, so this is, oh, all right. This should be easy, because this is just like all the leafs. So this goes, I don't know if this is even showing up. There we go. Metal, plastic, plastic, metal, plastic, plastic, metal, plastic. And obviously build them. Yeah, I guess don't screw too tight. Don't screw too tightly, because then that's not leaves. We need the curvy. I got to find that. I got to find this little bit, the 24504. And then you're going to, by gum, we're going to have leaves. Yeah, I miss old Pegasus with an intensity. They moved to a bigger location. What do you think of Sorka banning megalithic? I would classify that as the surprising thing that I'll hear today. I think J Concepts had to know that this tire is going to get banned. And here is the problem with Sorka rules. Here's why the Canyon will never participate in any kind of Sorka-like rule system. Because the Sorka rule system is stupid. That's the only adequate term to describe it. Because racing rules are rules of exclusion, right? That's not the way Sorka does it. Racing rules are rules of exclusion, which means the rules will say, gentlemen, for this division, you may run this tire or this tire. Everything else is out of the list. Not allowed. These two. Sorka is like, oh, except the rupture. I think, and I have seen regional rupture Sorka rules that don't have the rupture on the banned list. What? I don't know. Like, I've seen multiple, and you would think Sorka Rules would be Sorka Rules, but I guess it's just designed to be confusing. And if a rule system is designed to be confusing, you can just assume that you're being lied to. So, banning the megalithic, yeah, undoubtedly, which is effectively their admission that the megalithic is too good. Man, my closest hobby town carries Proline, RC Four-Wheel Drive, and Pitbull. There'll be a pair or two of RC Four-Wheel Drive, usually something nobody needs. And Pitbull, there'll be a pair or two, and at my hobby town, and they sell their Pitbulls at MSRP. So like Rock Beasts will be $46 a pair to anyone that feels like spending $92 on a set of tires, which I do not. I was talking to someone else about I had a strong temptation to put the SCX6, the 2.9 tusks on RoboKitty. And then I priced it up. And that was flushed out of my system so quickly. I think I audibly gasped when I saw how much that was going to cost. Okay. So it's 2. This. All right. I almost just built this upside down. This and that. Oh, I would love. Sam Stevens says, "Wonder what they think of the Endura tires." I would love to see Sorka ban the comp pin. I would love to see them ban these, because they're like $25 a set of 4, and because like they're too good for what they are. But I understand the whole not scale. That part I get. There's every chance that I'm going to put this whole thing together wrong. So that was that one. And then I need these 2. Boy, there are... Oh, so all pins are banned. I'm over here laughing aloud at a guy showed up with ruptures, and they were like, "Nah, it's okay. That guy's not going to win anyway." Yeah, still need to be able to drive well to win. That's true. That's absolutely true. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Okay. We got it. I got it. So there's the leaf pack for the back. And I understand why there's 8 in the pack. Because it's one set of leaves for both rear axles. I would, if I had my druthers, if I was doing a real competition, and I have said and will continue to say, anybody that comes here is free to drive and use whatever they want. We don't have those things. You can run any tire you like on any rig you like. We are here to have a good time. If you wanna compete for a sticker or a patch or a ribbon or whatever, you will be subject to the normal Canyon rule set of a 10-point rollover, a 7-point gate touch, and a 2-point reverse, and that's what your points will be done on. But banning tires and stuff like that's not a thing that we do. It doesn't help the hobby. And again, finishing my thought, if I was setting up a competition, I would have two. I would have a box stock class, and I would have a spec tire class. Every other kind of racing does this. Every other form of competition does this. And I would have, like, probably Enduro, Element Enduro SE. That would be the box stock class. Run it like it is with that terrible, terrible motor. Because if everybody is on that terrible, terrible motor, then the playing field is even. Or a close approximation thereof. Now I got to build the other spring pack just like I built the first one. And then I would have a spec tire class, and it would obviously be Canyon Trails because they are so cheap. Phoenix chassis with Air Force. Oh, wait, what did I miss? I'm ordering blue RC Lions wheels, blue Endura inserts and crawlers. Well, that's fine. You're gonna have to shim those Endura inserts, but other than that, ooh, boo! Out of Dino Nuggets, Dino Buddies are nothing, man. What are your opinion on the J Concepts hold for trail or comp? The J Concepts hold is a great tire. But here's what I have noticed about J Concepts tires. The J Concepts tire does not have an all-in-one, what we would call an all-in-one loadout. Across their things of tires, I have sampled every J Concepts tire that J Concepts makes. And for the longest time, we didn't have anything to mount Scorpios to or to mount holds to. Or hunks. I just couldn't find where they sang. And now the hunks on Zobazu I wouldn't change. So you may well have no problem running holds, or you might have a rig that doesn't like them. So I don't know. That's the problem. That's the real problem. Any tire is going to get you 90% of it. It's getting that last 10%. That's where all the effort gets expended. There's no saying that a Defender has to be a Class 1. I think. Also, I don't know what Defender to which you're referring. I like a 4.6. I like a 4. What is it? 4.35, 4.35, 4.45 on a Traxxas Defender. That's the perfect tire for me. Spring packs. Yeah, so this set doesn't even really feel overly firm, but yeah, it doesn't feel overly firm at all. And considering the amount of weight that's going to be sitting on top of it, it's going to be something. We've made 4 shackles, what I assume are shackles, and 2 leaf packs. And now, okay, all right. Oh, ooh, neat. Yeah, we're gonna get these rear axles. What's my time? Yeah, we're gonna get these rear leafs on. I'm committed. And a gentleman, Crawler Life, has anyone done the blue case Endura 35 kg servo hack, making it run in direct power? From the gentleman who referred to me, I think one of the first guys that did it, he referred it to me. He said that he has killed at least one of the blue case servos on direct power. So we would not anticipate them to be immortal, and they have indeed proven not to be immortal. But they are so very cheap. So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where you're like, man, give it a try. Yeah, if you want to go at it, and when I say about so very cheap, I'm talking about Amazon pricing. Like if you're getting those blue case servos from like AliExpress or whatever, they're probably even cheaper. Man with a shovel. Yeah. Man with a Shovel Productions. I think that's it. That's ringing a bell. And my confidence as to how far I would get into the process of building this can be indicated by the fact that I've cleared off where the 3D printer is supposed to go. There's a huge cleaned off spot on the bench for where all of this is going to get gathered up and placed, because I didn't know how far I would get, but let's just say I'm about as far as I thought I would get. So we will probably be building this next week as well. But what I'll do is a bunch of painting in between. And it doesn't even have to be weather permitting. I bought it. I did it. I did what I said I was going to do, and I bought that little paint booth. Have I cut the hole in the wall to vent it? No. But I can paint. Paint inside. And paint inside is helpful. I've also got the airbrush, I've got rattle cans, I've got any number of ways of turning this thing olive drab. Oh, I gotta stop dropping stuff. So okay, when Anna says FMS K10, are we talking about the FCX 10, or are we talking about the little 18th scale K10? Because we don't do small scale here. We technically don't do large scale either. But yeah, this is a 10th scale house. Big wrench. I did get the ducting with the flat for going out a window, but I don't specifically need it. I'm just going to drill a round hole and put a dryer vent out through the wall, because it's a metal wall building. So I'm just going to stick a dryer. I'm just going to hook it to a dryer duct. Yeah, I put off the indoor paint booth because I thought, oh, these are going to be super expensive. It was like $130, something like that. I got the biggest one. I didn't get the biggest one. They jump up to like $300 to get to a bigger one. But I'm sitting over here going, I fabricate things. I can easily make a bigger, and it's neat. It's got LED lights in it. It's pretty cool. I can make the shroud bigger if I need to make the shroud bigger. Yeah, the blue case, I'm looking down at one right here. These guys, I love these. They're so cheap, and I've never had one die. And the solitary drawback of them is that they're slow. That's it. There's one reportable negative about the Amazon Blue case, and it's that they're slow. But over 600 ounces out of that thing. VXT's work on the Elroy Sparta bike trail. Yeah, that's what cardboard is for. And I have so much cardboard. Yesterday morning, I cut up cardboard for like 2.5 hours. I have a real problem with cardboard boxes, in that I'm afraid that if I get rid of any cardboard box, I'm going to need it. So I hoard them, and I was hoarding them right where I need to put my spray booth. So I had to do something. Ooh. Okay. The leaf thing is, yeah, The 35 kg Pro is okay. So you're thinking of the one that now says 45 kg on the side. When I talk about Amazon Blue Case, I'm talking about the 3235 SG. This one, it is not fast. And there's an Injora version which is even slower. But when I say not fast, I mean like 0.14. I'm just used to servos that are in the like 0.09, 0.08 range. Yeah, bubble wrap. I won't talk about the big roll of bubble wrap that's sitting right over there. What if I need that later? Okay, so then this is just getting intricate, man. We've got big brass bushings, and then this inserts into the brass bushing. And then it's a M3x8 and a washer. I'm just going to get those. Is it a washer or is it this bushing? It's a washer. The bouncing noise says, didn't the 35 kg pull about 9 amps? That was the Pro. Yes. The Pro, you almost need a BEC for it. I'm running it on a vehicle. I'm running it on a vehicle that has a Castle CC BEC because it's running a speed control that has no internal BEC. So these things move around, and when we have a really amp hungry servo, we just put it on something that can provide a ton of amps. You know you're a saver of things when you have old coffee cans full of random car fasteners. Not coffee cans, plastic, what do they call them? Stackmore bins. Anyway, like I have a gajillion of this size, right? There's Dremel bits in this size. Then I have all of the sizes from smaller than this one, like these, all the way up to the big ones. And I have those filled with random car fasteners. And some of those weigh 25 pounds. Like you have to pick them up with two hands. Because I can't get rid of, what if I need it? What if I need it? Old U-Band cans. I have one I can't say I don't. I do indeed, actually. I have a couple coffee cans in here. Tis true. Did I miss a part? I did. I missed a part. I missed this part. Oh, I could have just slid it on there like this. Boo. I guess this is the part that mounts to the chassis. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, if we're starting a hoarder off, guys, you're going up against a professional. Like I need you to know that I've walked around and I just show you that little yellow bin. I've counted how many I have 100 of those little yellow bins, just the yellow ones. Then the bigger ones, I have racks of those bins. And then the tiny ones, I have racks of those bins too. I've got tilt bins behind me. I've got this, what is this thing called? It's a like a part serve thing. I've got a rack right behind me with these in it. Right? That's where stickers go. So, I mean, we throw away, and then, so you know these things, the little plastic drawers with the pull-out bins. I have 5 of those. I don't know how to stop. If there's a way to stop, I don't know what it is. I am going to get these things mounted by hook or by crook. We're going to get these put on an axle. Hell yeah, horde off. Okay. So if anybody approaches me with anything that could be mistaken as an item for organization, IKEA makes these little metal wheeled, they have 4 little wheels on them, these metal cabinets that have these little pull-out drawers, right? So I keep brushed speed controls and brushless speed controls in this one. Yeah, we'll put a little stickers on the front. But then I have stuff that I don't know how to categorize. So this one is just simply titled Gearbox Parts. This is the kind of thing I do. But you know well that I know where everything is. I don't, but I do. I mean, I don't. I lose things in here all the time. I find them eventually. Okay, I need to go back. I need to go back a half a step because I was supposed to put a drive shaft. Oh my goodness. I can't, we're not at this step yet, but no, I got to take it out of the plastic. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Look at the size of that. Look at that gigantic dog bone. I'm assuming, and there's the cups. I'm assuming that's gearbox to transfer case. That's going to be fun. Okay, it's the little nibby-nubby drive shaft. Let me put it to you this way. In part of my official entry for the Horde Off, I have a container. I have a little Rubbermaid clear plastic bin that's over there in a drawer filled with little Rubbermaid plastic bins. And it is filled with things like S-video cables and optical cables and any number of other cables that I haven't used in well over a decade. But I have this feeling that sometime someone is going to show up with like an original Xbox. And they're going to be like, man, I wish I could get this thing going so I could show my kid what the olden times were like, but I don't have the cables. And I'll be like, here it is. And I will pull random ancient cables. I still have an Apple II GS sitting here. That was my first computer. I can get close. I just have to turn around, reach down. TI MacBook from 2000. It has seen some stuff. And I bet PowerBook G4, I bet this thing would still power up. That's kind of gross. Look at that. You know it's old. It's got a CD drive in it. It has... Yeah. Speaking of S-video, what if I need to hook this up to a monitor? It's got S-video, Ethernet, Firewire back then. Think of that. How fancy was Firewire in 2000? Yeah, that's still here. I can't. Ooh. I've brushed all the dust off that right onto everything I'm working on because I am a savage. I need M3 by 22 times 8. you're not it. You might be it. Yeah, you're it. Yeah, you're it. I'm glad. If there's one thing to be glad of, it's that the camera just shows this little slice of life. The mess. The mess is truly turning into something. It is spreading in every direction. Well, they are not kidding about the all metal. I think for people of a certain age, wasn't everybody's first computer a Commodore 64? The secrets are definitely out of frame. And by secrets, I mean the secret shame of that I got it so clean. And now it's very bad now. Too good for your home? Good night, Mr. Adrianson. He made it far into the night. It is definitely March 2nd in Belgium. He made it, that gentleman probably worked today already, so props to that guy for his stick-to-itiveness. What am I looking at? This rear truss setup is wild. I mean, look at that step. What? Look at the lines. What? Looks like a pattern the Blue Angels have to fly. Maybe I won't manage to get this all put together. I am not undaunted. I am daunted at this point. We can hope. We can at least hope. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's definitely not a 22. Because it did not come out the other side. Whee! I will consider it a personal victory if I can get this rear axle sub-member put together. Not an outright victory, but at least something. Wow. Nick, who has confessed to us all to be 20 years old, it doesn't exist. According to my YouTube analytics, I don't have anybody that watches the channel under the age of 24. What was your first RC? I had a Radio Shack Lambo. Mine was and I'm sure I've talked about it before, was a Kyosho Ultima. That was my first remote control. The thing that I have a hazy memory of, and it's so hazy that I'm not sure if I'm just filling in a blank that doesn't exist, but I distinctly remember as a small child having this. It was like space futuristic, and for that, they just molded everything out of white plastic. It had a little docking bay, and inside the docking bay was like a motor, and you had a little thing that looked kind of like a space frisbee, is the best I can equate it to, that had a fan under it and like a mesh top, and you would dock it in the little bay and you would click it in, and the motor would spin it up, and there was like a flywheel in the thing, and it would spin it up, and when it got to a certain speed it would let it go, and the thing would hovercraft around the kitchen floor and just bang off of things. Like there was no way to control it, but it would just flywheel up this fan, and then the thing would bing, bing, ding, 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 and it would bounce around for about 20 or 30 seconds. And at my age, it was like the most amazing thing I could ever have imagined. And I still, to this day, am unsure if such a thing ever actually existed. Because when I describe it, and I hear myself describe it, it sounds like the far out ramblings of a madman. But yeah, I went all in. I had never owned any of the like little. Basically, I never had a toy grade RC. I went straight in. Because obviously the potentially non-existent kitchen hovercraft, I don't know. It may not have existed. It may be a feverish dream. Feels real. Yeah, I was one of the only kids in the neighborhood that didn't go Tamiya. Because as I had said before, I had really wanted a RC-10. But there wasn't enough lawns in my neighborhood to mow to afford an RC-10, so I went home with a Kyosho. This, much like building many other vehicles of other manufacturers, particularly Tamiya's, I feel like I'm building a clock. The one that really sparks that memory in me is the twin. Building a VFD twin, you feel like you're building a clock. And it's not even that bad. I am haunted by building a Tamiya DF03 RA, the short-lived rally car platform that they made. It was wild. It was absolutely wild. Like, it had a different size. It had basically underdrive, overdrive. So it was spinning the front and rear axles at different speeds. But in something that went fast. Which is, I mean, we can witness that again. Which one is it? Was it from Arma, the Felony? That has smaller front wheels and bigger rear wheels, so it has to have different gear ratios to power the tires at different speeds. It's crazy. That's a weird one for me. Someone just talked about the fastest thing that they have is a bomber. And I had never driven anything slow until well, like I say, building a VFD is building a clock. Because as Bouncing Noise said, even if you build it correctly, it's ticking. That's the worst part about it, is that you could sit down, you could pop open two kits, you could build two VFDs at the same time, and one would click and one wouldn't. It's like there's nothing you can do. Argentum has a slight, delicate, but noticeable click sometimes, and everything has been done to his gearbox except for one thing, which leads me to believe that the one thing that hasn't been done is the one thing, and that is I have not changed out all of the plastic pieces. So maybe I need to change out all the plastic pieces. And to the Weisenheimers of the comments, 8 screws. Listen, sir, listen. There's at least, it's double digits. There might be 24 screws on here. What did someone say that they call this in real life? It's something wild. It's like a double cantilever thing going on. It is neat. I put AR-60s on my Enduro SE and it rips donuts on a 2250 on 4S. Yes, I can imagine that it would. I'm all in support of that kind of behavior. I wanted to see how fast I could go some years back. And I built well, partly slash parts, and then I basically built my own like a pan car rear end for it. And put one of those Protoform PF8 bodies on it. And I got it up to around 60 miles an hour on 2S. And the gearing had to be so high. I ran like a 45 tooth pinion, and I had to because I had to gear it so high it couldn't even start under its own power. You had to kick it with your foot to get it to start going. And I wrecked it a couple times, and it was never that good afterwards. I found out the beauty of trying to go as fast as you can possibly go on 2S is you will learn a lot about aero, like fast. You will learn that a wing, and that there are distinct differences between wings and splitters and spoilers. A wing will, because a wing is creating drag, it's creating downforce out of that drag. A wing will slow you down so much. I ended up doing speed car thing where I built a big flat plate that came off the back and had big splitters on the sides, but it was basically like a spoiler, but flat. And then it came out about 2 inches past the end of the chassis. And that thing got me 4 or 5 miles an hour faster with no other changes. And then it was, don't cut out your front wheel wells because front wheel wells are going to slow you down almost as much as anything. Mine had already been cut out. So I had taped them off with packing tape. And yeah, speed is a drug. Did I tighten all those? I did. All right. And now the step. Oh, okay. There's a part I haven't even built yet. Carl, I am building a Cross HC6 M35. They don't call it the M35, but it is quite clearly and obviously an M35. And I'm making an executive decision right now, which is this. I am going to put that which I am certain I don't need. Okay, put that guy there. Yep. So this will all get painted. I'm going to paint all that stuff, including the rims, and I will assemble the rims because I can and I will and I should. But let us use this box to stow the parts that I know will not be involved in this next step. Because the goal is to get this axle truss at least mostly complete. And I am starting to lose my mind. All right. Oh, honestly, that feels better. I'm curious to see if there are responses to the gentleman from Germany about flashable AM32 ESCs, because it definitely appears that there are more of them that can't be. I don't need this. There are more of them that can't be flashed than there are that can. And I'm not a programmer or a guy that programs things, so I don't know what the difference is between any of the AM32s. I've flashed one of my own and never felt any real overwhelming sense of confidence in doing it. I feel like I'm just blindly stabbing away. So if someone is good at it, because I would love to be able to have that option, you know, because there are instances where the bottom line is a fusion just isn't going to fit. And much as I would love to put a fusion in everything, sometimes it's not an option. I think they want. I'm gonna put the plastic ones on here because there's so many. I think they were all supposed to be plastic, but it's too late. The other ones are already put together. Yeah, I was talking to someone else about this, and what it basically came down to for me is that the price that Rhino Crawler is charging for the V40 and the V80, I'm 100% fine with. And I know if I want to do something Outrunner, so I just factor it in to the build. Of a Rhino V80 is all I need. I can't imagine anyone needing more. And I've started using the V40s in quite a few rigs because they're so small and super light. And I mean, $75 is not, it's not breaking the bank. So yeah, the Fusion, particularly the Fusion SE, I don't know if anything like beats it. It's heavy. Yeah. Compared to other options, if you're building something compy, we'll throw that word around. The Fusion is probably not your first choice. But for the rest of us, if your rig's got fenders, there's no reason to not put a Fusion in it. It's waterproof. It has no extra stuff. You don't have to mount a speed control. And of the three, so you've got the SEs 1200 and 1800, and then you've got the Pro at 2300. The SE 1200 is my favorite one. I love that one. I use the 1800 in portals, but for anything with a straight axle, I will go right for the 1200. And I just ordered another V40 for, I don't know what build. One of them, one of the upcoming builds is going to have a Rhino in it. I have a couple 1200s. Well, Barry needs to build himself a course, man. You need to start building a canyon over there, because like we got nothing here, man. Like, I guess that pops together. Are these supposed to be metal? No, I guess that's right. Okay. We're just going to go with it. Well, okay, Anna, you got your 1200 and your 1800 is 50% more RPMs. So What I tell people is in the simplest possible translation, 1,200 for straight axles and 1,800 for portals, because portals are roughly going to double your gear reduction, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. So an 1,800 on portals and a 1,200 on straights is going to be very close in final wheel speed. Some people like to have more power on tap, so they would indeed opt for, did I cut one thing too few? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. They would go for an 1,800 on straights, but I don't like it. Yeah. 2 fusions, 1,200 for the Marlin, 1,800 for the Phoenix. You get one of these. This is one of these. Yeah, and I've said not SCX10 Pro related, but related, like specifically the VRD. The VRD, I'm sorry, the VFD and the VFD Twin, they really do put the motor pretty much as low as you can get it. So in that event, it doesn't, I don't think that weight matters. I think if you go to a lower motor, I think it's going to move your CG up, particularly if it's a Phoenix or a Fordyce. I think the weight is going to move up going to a smaller, lighter motor, because yes, you're taking away sprung weight, but you're taking away the lowest sprung weight. Our goal is to take away the highest sprung weight. So I don't see it as an outright win-win. When do you think you'll have a roller? Okay. I will do some in between. I will do some menial stuff in between now and next, because I'm going to have to paint all the parts and get the wheels assembled. So what I will save for Friday next is actually building it. We will be to roller next, in the next one of these. We'll get to roller. It's a model. Yeah, in a TRX4, Fusion Pro is awesome. I keep trying to convince guys to get SEs, and honestly, most of them opt for Pros. And the Pro is really nice. And the thing about it is sometimes I forget, because I drive SEs a lot. Like the SE is probably my most driven combo. And then I will take Argentum out, and he is fitted with a Pro, and I'll be like, oh my God, the Pro is so good. How is the Pro so good? But I have a number of SEs. We're gonna see in the upcoming builds, we're gonna see quite a few SEs, Fusion SEs. Yeah, 1,200 SE in the trail run. That's perfect. 1,200 SE is pretty much perfect for Element. Me and Bill are thinking the same thoughts. Yeah, if you've got a 2-speed TRX4, the thing is, if you have a TRX4 with a 2-speed, you can actually get away with putting a 1,200 in it, and then your low gear is la-ha-ha-ha-ho, and then your high gear is still okay. I get the thing on the Outrunners. There's a video up today. It will be up at 4 p.m. today in about 40 minutes. So I don't know how many people are going to have the strength and the wherewithal to watch that as well. But that one is a from the comments installment. I was recording it this morning because I was struck by the inspiration to do so. M3. Okay, where do the 14s go? 14 lowers? 14 lowers. Okay. And it's got motor stuff in it. And also someone just mentioned the TRX4 clone. Oh, clone with 2-speed. I read it as the TRX4 clone 2-speed. Like the alloy bodied ones you get on Amazon. Those are great. That's what Daphne runs. And honestly, that clone box is smoother than the factory TRX4 box. I think because of the aluminum, it has an aluminum shift yoke, and the dog, the slider, is metal. It's really good. Okay, I am going to mess this up. I get the loyal folks from across the pond watching things right away, despite the fact that it's the middle of the night over there. Okay, don't go too tight. Don't go too tight. Those are plastic. Let's not crush things into oblivion. And then that is just is that an 18 with a nut? Or, yep, that's an 18 with a nut. I think these are 18s. That's a 16. Oof. The gentleman who just said that they find themselves crawling in high gear, that is what we call the SCX 10.2, the 10.3 problem. The split in gears between the high and low in the 10.3 box is borderline non-existent. The box that went in the Raptor build and is also in Clank, the Amazon, Benedict Harry, AMK, whoever, that 2-speed, the split in the 2-speeds is irresponsible, and I love it. I can't find the bag. I'm just going to get them out of the thing. I can't find the bag with the M3 by 18s, and I've lost my tweezers. Not my tweezers! One, two, three, four. Screws is screws. Yeah, FOC does not care what gear you're in. No. The way you can usually tell is drag brake. Even in the stock TRX4 box, there's just not enough. Like, you just roll away. I feel like I'm putting these on backwards. No, I'm not. Yeah. Well, I mean, there is a great crawler that can be bashed. You just build it. I mean, you just pair a crawler is, by my definition, a gearbox and axles. That's all it is. That's why the TRX4 is so good, because regardless of what other people might say, it's a rock crawler built by people who build bashers. So they understand both mindsets. So the TRX4 axle is excellent. They're tank-like axles. And I looked up at the comments and completely forgot my thought. So they're tank-like. It crawls really well, but it can also be handled being mashed around at speed, which is I think why Traxxas knows their market so well, that when you get a TRX4 Sport, it is way over geared for rock crawling. The gearing is not suitable for crawling. It has too big of a pinion and too small of a spur, because they know that most people that buy it are going to dabble in, oh, look, I can go up this rock. but for the most part, they're going to be trying to send it. So it comes geared to send. This is not overly complicated at all. Building a TRX-6 is basic compared to just what's gone into this. This is absurd. Let's see if I can get these 4 in here and then flip this thing over. Yeah, where'd it go? Somebody asked, who asked about worm drive gears? Worm drive, I have that old low-C comp crawler with the worm drive. The worm drive is fraught with problems, and there's a reason that they're only using it on micro scale stuff, because you basically have to grease them every time you use it, and they do generate quite a lot of heat, and they are quite noisy, and they don't really like being pounded on with power. They seem a little bit like a relic of a time gone by. But I mean, they give you, it's drag brake in the gears, where they literally can't roll the whatever they call it. So you've got the spiral gear at the top, and then you have the gear that it drives. The gear that's being driven can't make the worm gear drive the other way. So it's mechanically locked. It can only be powered forward by the worm drive gear. I do some mild jumping in my high trail. Yeah. Good old mild jumping. Yeah, I mean, I think to start and to finish, the TRX4 is a fantastic platform. And if you really want to get something, if you wanted to build stupid dumb, like you want to do just a little bit of jumping, get yourself a chassis and put one of those Amazon 2-speeds in it on TRX4 spooled axles, and hold on for dear life. Because the split in that Amazon gearbox is even bigger than the split in the TRX4 box. Second gear will be, you go straight to plaid. I'm running a 10 or an 11 tooth on everything. Am I missing out on something? I gear to final drive, to what I want to see in wheel speed. And in some rigs it's a 10. In some rigs and also particularly in 48 pitch, because I've got 48 pitch in, I don't know, maybe a third of rigs. You're not running gears that small. You're going to be running 16, 18, 20, something like that. Yeah, but in terms of is Bill going to bed? Oh no. Bill lives here. Bill's just leaving. Yeah, I tend to gear. Here's what I do. I want the rig. I mean, obviously there are exceptions to the rule, but I want the rig to be just a bit faster than I can walk, right? That's what I want the top speed to be. So I'm gearing to that. Everything below that will kind of sort itself out. Okay. That something needs to be adjusted, right? Am I wrong or am I right? I feel like those should be parallel to each other. Wait, it goes this way. Not that it matters. What is too long? Is it these little guys? That doesn't look right to me. Too short. It's too short. They're not too long, they're too short. Is there a number? Yes. Yes. Okay. I didn't even read it. It says it's supposed to be 9 millimeters exposed. 7.5. 7.5. Yeah, I got that dead on. So, for that, we're absolutely and unequivocally going to give me a Ziploc. We're going to have to undo this. So, here's what we're going to do. We're gonna cut our losses. Is what we're gonna do. Yeah, and also, if you just want to throw down pepper, you get a Fusion Pro, and then you have the lowest low-speed control and an alarming amount of top-end speed. So, I mean, what's not to like, really? Oh, it's going to be, yeah, this will be sorted out. We will sort this out before next time. I will have, almost dropped the transfer case on my foot. We will have all the bits and the bobs positioned and located. I will have this rear truss. Basically, I'll have the pre-things built, and we'll move forward from there. Because what I've done here now today is, I'm not saying mistakes were made, but well, we just dove into this. We absolutely dove into this. All right. Yeah. The 9 millimeter thing. Yeah, I can definitely tell that one is shorter than 9 millimeters. Those need to be parallel to each other. That screw is not in far enough. Yeah. This will be like, it will look mostly like this, but it will be assembled properly and ready to bolt to these absolutely ludicrous. Now they are, again, some drawer slides that barely fit in the frame and are the length of the box. Put these guys over here. Oh my God, there's parts. There's parts everywhere. I wouldn't go so far as to say it got out of hand. It got away from me. It got away from me a little. Got away from me a little. Whoo! This is, I'm telling you, I had long said that my favorite installment of the week is Wheelin' Wednesday. And that is a phrase of the past, because it is now my second favorite day of the week. My now first number one favorite day of the week is Live Stream Friday, because at least inside the warped parts of my brain, it's like a hangout, man. We're hanging out. The stream was extraordinarily cooperative today. Little stat for the day. We dropped 4,033 frames over the course of 3 hours and 35 minutes. And we dropped most of those frames in about the first 3 minutes when I was still uploading a video that's live in 27 minutes. So I think we did really well. Just so everyone will miss it, I'd ordered an Endura servo and we'll try and run it direct power on it tomorrow. Yeah, do it. Do it. You did not spin your wheel on Wednesday. No, I didn't. As I said on that Wednesday, I didn't feel like spinning the wheel on Wednesday. I felt like I was beholden to the wheels for some reason, and I made those damn wheels. They're not the boss of me. I felt like laying out a course. And I have already gone out and tinkered around driving on that course. And it might be my favorite one. It's so fun. That one, the green course, the green line, the green mile is super fun. You don't feel like you're being challenged at every single gate. That every gate means you're going to fall and roll. With this one, worst, you're going to knock a ball off. But you can do a whole run on it and feel like you were successful, or you can have a bad day and knock 7 out of 8 balls off. So it's a good time, man. And if we're not here to build a good time, I don't know what we're here for. Yeah, that's the as the gentleman from Sweden says, Live Friday is the best. Feels like we're hanging out. Yeah, if there's a problem, it's the globalization of YouTube. It's not a problem. It's the best. But I can't hang out with. I think the most of you here in the chat, looking at the names as they go by. None of y'all's is from here. I'm talking to people in Sweden and England and all over Europe, and it's not like we could get together and do any crawling. So we hang out here and we do some talking. Well, I almost successfully assembled the rear axle truss section. If I just left this box untouched between now and next week, if there was no painting that needed to be done, we would get about the same amount done. It would take 5 live streams to finish building this thing. So I am definitely going to attack at least the painting. I'm probably just going to take all of those parts and just, now that I'm looking at the edge of the box here, I think I'm realizing what all those big plastic pieces are. You basically assemble the bed. So what I'll do is I'll leaf all the way to the end, and probably I will assemble the bed and then paint it all assembled. That way I don't have to like scrape paint away. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh, there's the chain and the rope. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Olive drab on this guy, and we will go. Oh, just so you know, it is a 45 turn brashed motor. It's brashed. It's bold and it's brashed. All right. Billions of millimeters. I thank you all so much for dropping by here on a Friday. I'd like to say, we ran over a little bit, but who's keeping track? As long as the stream keeps running and people keep watching, I'll keep bolting pieces together. And I mean, now that I've thrown everything in this box, look how clean the bench is. It's like I barely made a mess at all. We are clicking right along. So, for those of you who are bored and aren't ready for bed, there's another video in about 20 minutes. So I will look for you all in the comments of that, and I will look forward to seeing you one and all next week. The brash will get used at least once. So we will we will see. Yes, sometime during the week I will have to operate that red cap marksman. We will see how that goes. That should be endlessly entertaining for many of you. I hope you're all looking forward to that. It's it's gonna be a good one. I believe I missed one and it went by, and someone had asked something along the lines of, is there a queue for building rigs? I mean, not really. When people send stuff in to get built, I'll build it. But the problem there being, I don't build to a timetable or a schedule. The guy whose Bronco is here, that Bronco's been here for a couple months. And honestly, and the VRD has been here nearly as long. And I do like cramming for a test where I'll do nothing, and then all of a sudden I'll just a flurry of activity and it's painted and it's done. Like, that's how almost every rig has gone. Like Steve, the Phoenix, sat at the end of the bench unpainted for like 3, maybe 4 months. And then in one day, I painted it, finished it, and it was shipped out within like a week. So that's how it goes around here. So like I say about people who build custom bikes, who build custom anything, if you want something built here, I will absolutely build it. I love doing it. But if you have any time frame at all, like you're worried because you're moving from where you live now to somewhere else in like 6 months, maybe wait until after you've moved, because I can't guarantee something will be done in 6 months. as insane. I was just talking to my youngest about how I think that there are 9 incomplete It Came From the Workbench series running right now, and I have 3 ready to start. Like I have all the parts, radios, electronics, tires, axles, gearboxes, everything, even bodies. I have all the stuff for the next 3. But I can start them whenever. If somebody sends, like, I gotta futz with that marksman. I'm gonna try to make it work, and we'll see where it goes. But I'm doing it again. I am Midwest. This goodbye. Hello, Mr. Wreck-It Ralph. This good Midwest goodbye has been going on for, I don't know, about 7 or 8 minutes, which is pretty strong even by Canyon standards. So I will take this opportunity to bid you one and all adieu, so that I may clean up a little bit of the bench, turn off the lights, then drive down to the coffee shop and buy a coffee drink, because I have I've only ranted a little bit. Lee Jordan says, I have got several bodies to paint. Mr. Jordan, 11. I have 11 bodies that need painted. 11. Not counting that. Not counting the plastic one. So 12 bodies to paint. And I would be better off if I had 3, because maybe I wouldn't be putting it off as much. But with 12, I just go, well, if I don't paint anything, I'm winning. I would Irish goodbye, but I don't even know how to do that in the stream, because when I'm like this, if I click stop streaming, I don't know how long it actually takes to stop streaming. So that's why at a certain point I just go silent, and then I click the buttons, and then we're done. And you know what? We've reached that point, everybody. I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to click all the buttons, and we'll be done. I look very much forward to seeing you all again in the comments and on the live stream. This is the real deal. Farewell from the Canyon. I keep getting sucked into the comments. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for coming by. We did indeed love having you. Say goodbye to Marie. We'll see you next time here from the Canyon. Farewell, everyone.